Okie day. Mary and Chandler are going to be either late or not with us this evening, depending on how their respective events go. It's been a hot minute since we last saw the Trollskull 6. Um, but when last we saw our heroes, they had defeated Jormag, the Elder Dragon of Ice and Enchantment, as it assaulted the Norn home city of Holbreck. You spent a night feasting in celebration. The Skalds learned the details of the battle as best they could and embellished them to an even greater extent. Uh, Eventually, you returned to Lion's Arch, and after a bit of rest, were able to welcome the remainder of the Pact soldiers back from the Maguma jungle as they finished their almost month-long trek overland to get home. And now you find yourselves, Trollskull 6, at home in the comfort of Lion's Arch, the sounds of the crashing waves, the salt air, and the gulls. All familiar, all comforting. You are well rested and at full strength. And the world is your oyster. You are commanders of the Pact. You are heroes of the realm. You are dragon slayers. What would you like to do?
I mean, with that introduction, probably just like
Shoplift casually.
take the day off.
And go to Spencer's and shoplift.
It's shoplift at Spencer's.
Well, I don't know.
We're supposed to go to the Priory the next day.
So, someone, I believe it was Galtar, reached out to Steward Gix, might have been Alexa, about the heavy grimoire that you guys had captured from Minister Zamon's estate that had been turned over to the Priory for safekeeping. Gix said he could arrange special dispensation for you non-Priory members to be granted access to the special collections there. It would take a day or so to get the permissions underway and to notify the curator. You do not have to go immediately, but your access would be ready.
I do remember that. Don't remember why we're going.
There were two parts to that. The first was to satisfy Galatar's curiosity about the last surviving surface-dwelling dwarf. A secret kept by the Derman Priory and the Temple of Cormyr. Also, to take a look at that grimoire so that you could scribe the ritual spell, Contact Outer Plane.
See, I remembered more about why we wanted to look at the book was for one of my spells. I couldn't remember which one.
You also, I believe, in the last session, spoke a little bit, briefly, to Zardot Zord.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he told you to take a little time to set up, but he could potentially line up some work for you if you were looking for something to do. But it would take some time.
Mm.
The Trollskull 6 also mentioned going to the Black Citadel and checking in with the commanders, the brass of the Charr High Legions, to see what, if any, help they might need with their internal business.
When you say it that way, it makes us feel like we're just interlopers.
Well, Bertie, having spent time among the Charr,
That's true. I'm a native, essentially.
he knows.
Did you study abroad?
He did.
It was a semester.
Summer semester. Study at Smokestead, learning Charr war chants.
It's really in the throat. It's a they really get deep into it. But yeah, I'm
deep in the throat, you say, Bertie?
Practically, well, your words, not mine. But Yeah, I'm basically a native up there. I mean, I don't want to step on Kala's toes, obviously, but they, kind of, I don't know, considered me one of the pack. Pack leader was thrown around, but I think that was just in kind of jest. I don't want to. Yeah.
Some sort of like alpha position?
I believe somebody at one point called me an alpha cub, which I took as a compliment.
That made me wildly uncomfortable.
An alpha cub. That is, I haven't heard that one, Bertie, but
No, they said it like there was,
it's like a.
as I recall, a positive intonation in the voice. So I assume it's a great honor.
Sounds like you'd be like at the lead of the ones coming up.
Yeah, that's how I took it. So, and they like me over there, frankly.
You did make some friends while you were there. They appreciated your perspective for a human, valuing charr tradition. You also know that they are very secretive and territorial, but you do have a little bit of sway with them.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, I am out of grenades, and honestly, it's probably time for a gun upgrade. So I'm down for a trip up there. I know we'd also thrown around the free city of Amnoon. I know that had gotten mentioned at one point as like a place we could go where there are no rules and everything's just right, as I recall.
Is that the slogan for the city?
Sure.
It's like a free gambling kind of town. I think you might really like it, Brina.
It is
No
the
rule.
Outback Steakhouse of Ilona.
Just right. Ilona.
When you're here, your family.
In-
The free city of Amnoon.
It occurs to me, you guys may be too young to remember that Outback Steakhouse's motto used to be "No rules, just right."
No rules, just right.
Yeah, I remember.
Outback
Really?
Steakhouse.
Yeah, in the 90s. I was just
Didn't
like, I
know
don't
that.
think they got that. And I thought, no, fuck me, they're too young.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
just right. Outback.
Jesus,
I mean,
I'm old.
yeah.
No rules.
That was
just
back when
right.
they had
Outback.
Crocodile Dundee as the, I think as the mascot, the
Yeah, like
narrator for the commercials.
spokesperson.
Now rules,
Oh my
just
God.
right.
I rules.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
You're
you
bringing
forget we
back
were
some memories there.
98 babies, yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely was after that.
So we can go to not crimes in the no crime city. No rules city. This is
Yeah,
like
I mean-
Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, Brina, I know you've had some poor luck at the tables before, but from what I hear, the luck down there is just, it's on the tip of your fingers, you know? The dice just roll off.
I mean,
Hopefully they roll off.
yeah, the luck sticks to your fingers, but not the dice. Yeah, I mean, now I could use a change of pace. We want to go to a free city. City, okay. A noon.
I actually think the charr thing might be a bit more useful in terms of our current position, but I'm glad you're on board with that, Bree. You don't have to say yes to everything I say. Sometimes I just talk. I don't know if y'all know this. Not everything I say is the best idea. I know I know it's hard to believe.
Never
but
knew that, Bertie. I always thought
That's all right.
you were like the natural leader, as you say.
Well, basically, I your words again, not mine. And some people may consider me that, but inside the group, it's much more fluid, much more dynamic. Now, outside, sure, they may view me as the undisputed leader, but that's not how we like to view things inside, right?
Yeah.
Right.
When I'm like, what decision should I make? I always think like, what would Bertie do?
Right.
And it's
then you
usually-
do the opposite.
No.
Bingo.
No.
That
Brina,
is
don't eat that.
probably why a lot
We're-
of confidence fail.
I can count more than my fingers the number of times I've seen you scream and cower under that cloak.
That's a power pose.
Plus, it's like a really big cloak, so there's
Yeah,
plenty
I
of room
mean-
to cower.
It's a
And other-
defensive. It's a defensive posture. I wouldn't quite go that far.
Mm.
I mean, babies come out in the fetal position. I don't know.
Again, it's a defensive posture, so more of a tactic
Yeah, and
strategy.
babies
which-
don't even have cloaks, so.
Yeah, see,
Think
Raina
about it.
gets it.
Mhm.
All right.
I could use some grenades.
Armaments would be good.
I don't really care about the book thing so much. Galatar seemed keen on that, but I guess he's doing a poo. So
Yeah, he's been
We're kinda-
doing it for so long.
yeah,
Well, he has to write about it, remember?
yeah.
Yeah,
Put in the journal.
I mean, the only book I'm interested in.
I believe
is-
you guys hear the voice coming from upstairs. It is only for number 1.
It's a miracle.
No, I
Mm,
think
could be
the
interesting.
Black Citadel is fine.
Cool.
Kala?
haven't been
At
in-
least to check in. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Just remember, like, a lot of things there are flammable. Like a lot of engine degreaser and black powder.
Sure. I don't know what those are, so not gonna be a problem.
I can just make sure no fire.
Do you want? I will bring the cold sword and not the hot sword. I mean, I'm going to bring both swords, so it's not really crazy. But I will do the cold sword most of the time.
All right. Well, do we want to say like 1 o'clock? I've got like a quick little errand I can run before then, and then, you know, I've just got an errand to run, and then we'll head out. You know, everybody stock
going?
up on stuff. Just an errand.
Like, do they store?
Yeah, I gotta pick up some grain,
You want?
barleys. So I gotta pick that up before we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Weirdo here, barley.
It's a keto thing. I wouldn't worry about it.
Does it mix well with your sage?
Yeah, that and some quinoa, I guess. But we'll say 1 o'clock. Give everybody some time to stock up on whatever before we head out. Yeah. Knickknacks.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Cool. I will say Birdie heads out to run his errand.
Okay.
Fine. I'm gonna DM you.
Oh God, no.
Great.
So the rest of you need to prepare anything before you journey to the Black Citadel.
I mean, I am gonna bring both swords, but I'll
Think
worry
about what
the
you're
costume.
carrying with you, how much you got, and where you're carrying it.
Mm. I hate inventory.
Decisions.
Oh shit. Suddenly I just got like a wave. I've clicked over to my inventory, and the first thing, of course, is the hero's feast. I just got a wave of dread of like, we should have had a feast.
I mean, what could go wrong? Last time, nothing was bad.
Right? We show up and it's in the middle of a fucking, their civil war is fully on.
I guess I can leave my snowshoes at home.
Check out this bag here.
That seems.
So, as we all prepare to, I assume, pass through the Asura Gate to the Black Citadel. Are we fully armed and armored, taking all of our kit with us?
I think so. Birdie for sure. He's got his pack on.
Okay.
Get it out.
We're just going to talk though, right? So
I'm
No,
not
last
going
time we
anywhere
went to-
without the sword.
Right. I think I'd almost be a little slight PTSD at this point.
Yeah, we gotta be armored.
Yeah.
You know.
are Galatar and Kitri with us, or are they like back at the house?
Galatar was still doing a poo, so
It's been
it
like
seems
2
pretty
hours.
bad.
I will say they are preparing themselves. And we'll say for the sake of keeping things running, we will say that Kitri and Galatar have some business to attend to in town, but they will join you in the Citadel. Galatar would just say like, just keep an eye open for Ibu. He will find you and lead me to you. Seems straightforward enough.
Very.
So, with that, the four of you make your way through town, around the Crow's Nest. Eventually you arrive at the Asura Gate Hub. It's like a Roman bath style building with an open inner courtyard which has all of these like Stargate style circular portals in them. And one of them is flanked by 2 charr. Saying large charr is just being redundant. Kitted out in sort of grayish steel armor bristling with razor sharp spikes and spines in all angles, more than is really practical or necessary or comfortable. It almost seems like more of an imposition to wear it because you're likely to cut yourself. But Birdie, you know these well, that these are part of the Adamant Guard, who are the city watch of the Citadel, part of the elite Iron Legion forces. But they all know you guys. They've seen you come through here many times before. And being who you are easily admitted. You pass through the slightly wonky effect of stepping through this spatial portal, and you arrive in the Black Citadel. And if there is one word to describe the Citadel, it is industrial. It is a monstrous city built mostly of iron plates that cover everything from the ground to the walls to the ceilings. Black, thick, sooty smoke billows from almost every building, most with overlarge chimneys that belch the occasional flame, setting some of that soot alight. There are braziers everywhere. Everything is kind of coated with a thin sheen of ash, and banners and chains hang from almost every surface. Most of them are either Blood Legion, Iron Legion, or Ash Legion insignia. The banners of the 3 legions that call this place home. The most prominent of them is the Iron Legion. And as you know well, Birdie, this is the capital city of the Iron Legion. The Imperator here is the head of that legion, and the governance of the entire estate sort of is his responsibility, shared with lesser tribunes from each of the other legion constituencies. I think.
Brina, have you ever been to the Citadel? Can't remember if we've been here
canonically
before.
we did, for sure.
Yeah, we
It's
have
a while
once
ago.
because you bought grenades.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was just me, because I know I've bought grenades a couple times.
Yeah, you want to-
Brina, do you want a grenade? Would that be fun for you? You might like
yes.
it.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
it would be fun for me.
I'll talk to my person, but I know they have like rats on a spit that you can buy, which are actually quite tasty. Yeah. Smells like the summer of what was that? 08,
69?
I think.
It's like oil. And fire.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
just like
remember
weird
I had
place-
to.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Bertie.
I was just saying, I remember when I was here that summer, I had to get my clothes cleaned every day because, aquamarine, lavender, those colors do not do well in this environment. So I will say Bertie is wearing like an aqua colored, like kind of pants suit situation. It's got like kind of like a crop top, like jacket.
Blazer.
Like
Yeah,
how
crop top
high up?
blazer. He's got like high-waisted pants, crop top, aqua blazer. Everything's aqua, and like no undershirt underneath that.
Golden hair.
Yeah, so
Listen.
we'll probably have to get. Thankfully, the magic clothes now, so
Oh,
don't have to worry about that so much. I've never washed them, which is weird, but magic, right?
I mean, I
So-
still use water.
All around you, everything is tones of brown and gray and black and steel. Occasionally, you see the sight of like a rusted edifice, but anytime you see something like that where something has just started to get rusty, there are charr nearby working with like files and brushes to scrape that clean and ensure that the rust does not spread. There is a constant sort of clang and groan of metal in the city, and even outside of the Canton Factorium, or the factory district, you can almost always hear the beating of hammers on anvils. This is a place of industry, of creation. The Iron Legion being known for their weapons of war, their massive siege engines, their creative innovation without the use of magic. There are several sections to this very large city, but as you walk through the Asura Gate, you're on sort of like an elevated steel gantry. There are two adamant guard soldiers inside who kind of give you the once-over nod as you guys make your way in, and the gantry sort of descends a little bit at a very slow. It descends at a slow rate over a long distance, so it goes on for about 60 feet, but it only drops about 10 feet in total. And that takes you to the sort of walking level just at the base of what looks kind of like Epcot Center. This massive circular steel iron Death Star looking central edifice that is the command core. This is where all of the high-ranking officials live and work. It's where the war rooms and the planning rooms are. The imperators, the tribunes all occupy the central area, with part of it is sort of like cut out, not unlike the Death Star, but where you can actually see sort of the interior levels and this single massive spherical section that has a massive window overlooking the city. Around the command core, there is, you can see just off in the distance, mostly obscured by the core itself, an area that is the scrapyard and what has been dubbed the Great Imperial Smelter. There's just this massive column of steam and sooty smoke and the perpetual glow of orange-red flame. The constant smell of burning metal. You can see just kind of small in the distance these large metal cranes that protrude out and are illuminated from below by this fiery glow. Bertie, you know this town very well. To your left, kind of to the north and west, there is, to the north, is the Canton Factorium. It's the factory district where trade and craftsmen work. You can find the Shunlai Bank branch here, as well as the Black Lion Trading Post instance here. This is the public area of the Citadel. A lot of the goods are not typically for sale to non-charr, but you know that with the peace treaty with Divinity's Reach and the relationship with the Pact, that's kind of been eased up a little bit, but there are things that are still sort of Legion eyes only. You particularly have a contact that has been known to dabble in the less public market, shall we say.
Quite so.
There is a well-known tavern at the center of the Canton Factorium. As you descend this gantry, you can see to the north and kind of down a long ramp flanked by large statues, this big, bustling sort of trade commons. To your right, to the south, over a sheer drop of like 200 feet, you see below you what kind of looks like the Colosseum. And Birdie, you know this is called the Bane. It is a place where gladiums and traitors are taken to fight for the amusement of the High Legions, as well as those who wish to test their skill and raise the morale of the people of the Black Citadel. Where is this? Yes. You know that in the bowels of the city, beneath the iron plating of the ground, there are places where you can take winch-drawn elevators or platforms and be winched down to the lower levels, what they call the Gladium Canton, or the shallows, because it's kind of perpetually in about ankle-deep water when you get to the bottom of it. Just rain runoff, and it's sort of like living in the bottom of the storm drain. This is where charr who have lost their warbands are sort of shunned to. You can also typically find non-charr travelers if they're going to stay in the Citadel and they're not generally invited by someone of high rank. You'll find people down there. You can find tents and hovels and the poorest of the poor. You know that ahead of you, if you walk far enough eastward, there is the Heroes Canton, the Barracks, and the Farrar, where their cubs are raised, and that's where most of the Legion soldiers live and train. There are some other places around that don't generally see outside visitors. There's the Armory, the mustering grounds, where the Iron Legion Army's supply depots are, and they actually outfit their troops and have all their siege weaponry stored. And you, in particular, have spent some time at the Praetor's Cannon, also colloquially known as the Pasture. It's where the oldest charr who have kind of lost their ability to field themselves in battle are sort of set up as questers or quartermasters. Shown respect, but they're not able to be active as centurions or commanders of companies. They typically wake up, work out, clean, tour the Citadel, kind of helping where needed, and sort of pursuing their own ends. They're more freelance, but always with an eye towards benefiting the Legion.
Hey.
Hello, Kitri.
Hey, man.
Hello. Sorry for the delay.
No worries.
All good.
Feel very bad.
All good.
Huh.
The
Getting
Trollskull
that
6 have
degree,
just
baby.
entered the Black Citadel. I was just kind of describing the city and
Yeah.
how it's laid out.
We're in charr country
Okay.
now.
We've been here before once.
I believe so. It's been a minute.
It's
Yeah.
been a hot. It's also been a minute since we played, I'm realizing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's shopping, there's fighting, there's soldiers and then older soldiers. I feel naked without an explosive on me here. So I'm gonna go talk to a guy.
Can I come?
No. No.
Please, I want to see where the explosives are sold. Please, I will be cool.
Charr do not like
I'll be like this.
new people, and frankly, I know I draw like a big enough gaze going there,
Yeah, you do.
and I feel like I'll bring you back something nice though, okay? They get skittish. They get skittish around new people, especially when I'm trying to to buy things that are not, strictly speaking, legal.
Well, if you
Birdie,
say
you
that
kind
I'm
of get
cool.
like shoulder checked
Oh shit.
by this large charr in steel that has been dyed alchemically red, wearing the sigil of the Blood Legion. He says, "Out of the way, Peck."
You're excused.
He sort of
They-
stomps off.
Yeah, you gotta stand your ground with these people. Don't give them an inch. You show weakness, they will get it. All right. He kind of pulls his crop top jacket, like straightens it. I'm gonna go buy some stuff. I will be back. Brina, your job is to find
So
the finest rat kebabs in all the land, and I will have one of those, please. Extra
Yeah.
crispy.
I can
Yeah.
do that. And then you're
Okay.
going to bring me back a grenade.
I'll bring you back something nice. I'm
Okay.
honestly not convinced you're ready for grenade territory yet, but maybe something a little more fun. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna go up and say, oh, Kala, you can come if you want. You're responsible.
Hey! I thought you would be cool!
Look,
He's-
I'm not gonna argue.
Oh,
Kala
sure,
is the most
look.
responsible one in this group right now.
What the?
I trust her with an explosive.
What did
Me
you
and
say?
her.
I'm responsible.
K3
You're-
and
you're
I are
actually not here yet.
responsible.
Unless, all right.
Jeez,
Yeah, I'd say
you're-
at this
you're-
point, Keetri comes walking through. Galatar's
I'm
still
responsible.
taking care of some business.
Oh,
Look,
oh,
it's not so much about responsible and not. It's so much as who's gonna freak out my contact and not. You know. They don't like new people. I'm buying.
But then,
But
does
it's the
everyone here
black
know you,
market.
Bertie?
No. I actually keep a very low profile while I'm here.
So, how
I
are
don't
you
think-
being like? If you're new, how does that make us different than you being?
Well, I know the person that I'm buying the stuff from.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if
Janet,
you
I wanna
introduce
say
us,
is
we
her
can meet
name.
them too, and then we won't be new anymore.
Yeah, simple. You walk
Sure,
into the
that's-
store and then we all walk in after you and we're like, hey, what's up? And then they totally won't be overwhelmed by this number.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If I have a grenade,
Mhm.
it's like, wow, he's cool. He's got a grenade. If everybody's got grenades, it's like, everybody's got those.
There is an adamant guard that is standing at the top of the large ramp that descends to the factory district, lined by these huge 15-foot high statues of various charr as it goes down. He calls out to you all.
Hey, what are you lot doing? No loitering.
The fuck is this guy?
Hey, I'm talking to you, mice.
don't engage. It's not gonna.
we
There
could
with
just
me,
move on.
And who are
They're
you
with me.
supposed to
They're
be?
with me.
Kala, with the Trollskull 6.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Can I give her
Arrested.
like if I touch Kala's shoulder, can I give her guidance? Does that count towards these?
Do you want to cast a spell at this moment?
Oh well, is
I will remind you that the charr are not huge fans of magic.
never mind. I'll let her do her
You
thing.
can certainly try.
These superstitious asses.
I mean, we're a fucking known commodity. Bring it on. We just took down a dragon.
She should have advantage just because of our reputation.
Well, so fortunately, his modifier's not very high. He sort of like straightens up a little bit.
Oh. Well. All right then. But we can't loiter. It's a fire hazard. You have to move on.
Oh, well, you could accept
Yeah, we're definitely a fire hazard.
Yeah, no, going to see Tribune Brimstone. Maybe is there something you'd like to tell him? What's your name? What's your name? No, I'll pass it
Pharaoh's.
along.
Pharaoh's sharp talon.
Oh, I'll pass along your message.
fire safety.
We'll be traveling a long way. The Tribune's not here.
Oh, I know where he is.
Where is he?
Yeah.
He kind of looks at you all
Paula?
very
What the
curiously.
fuck?
No, I'm giggling.
No, she doesn't know where he is. I do. I just haven't told her yet.
Sort of
'Cause why would
looks
I?
slowly back over to you, Colin. Just
He's on assignment near Black Blood Lake, last I heard.
Oh.
Should have had a fucking feast.
Black Blood Lake. Ah. Brenna's talking to herself very quietly. Anyway, I appreciate the importance of fire safety, so I'm gonna move.
No,
along,
yes, we
moving
should
around.
definitely. I'm almost gonna get stepped on anyways if I don't keep moving, so.
Anyone steps
Yeah,
on
we
me,
should-
Alexa?
Alexa, do you wanna climb on my shoulders?
No,
Then it'd be
I'm
like-
alright.
If there's two of us, it's twice as hard to knock over.
I think I have like a little bell if you want to just have that. you know.
Oh, I can like tie
somewhere.
a ribbon around your wrist, and then I will just hold on to it in case you get lost, or like a backpack.
We're just
with a
gonna
big
start kind
ol'
of pushing them down, hurting them.
Yeah,
away
I'm
from
gonna
here.
start. I'd
Like
like to start
cats.
heading towards the my
so
my
Birdie starts
contact,
heading
you know.
down this. I mean, it's like 50 feet across this ramp. It's a major thoroughfare.
I'll catch
It
up.
goes
I'll
from this
catch up.
upper level down to the factory floor or factory district. Does anybody go with Birdie?
Guess I'm not cool enough to fucking go. So, Rena's looking out for
Is that
some
a
speed
yes,
bump.
Colin?
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay.
Where was the? Well, I mean, I guess we'll head towards the shopping.
It's the direction Birdie's going.
That's what I thought. So yeah, I guess we wouldn't go
Okay,
that
I guess
way.
we're all going. Yeah.
Well, what about?
It's like 30 feet
food
behind me.
There are food vendors everywhere. Like every couple of hundred feet, there's like a stall with something being grilled.
Are there any stalls that are serving anything that is non-meat oriented?
No.
It's okay. I have this stale bread. And I'll
These
just bring it-
rations we've had.
they've got
Yeah.
fried birds. That's not like meat, right?
Do you hear yourself?
Just saying. There's a couple options.
There's not even just like something that's like fried dough.
Rat. Even
There's-
better.
Hmm.
A rat in dough, and that's
No, no,
That's
just the dough part,
cool.
not the rat.
You can have the dough part. I'll
You
eat the
can
rat
scrape
part.
you can scrape the dough off and kind of ball it up.
It's
Maybe.
it's fine. I'll be
What, you
okay.
think 3 rats would probably
Have like one ball of dough.
one ball of dough? Maybe. You ask her.
I could make a hero's face, and we could have whatever we want.
Yeah,
Listen, we're here for the Black Citadel experience. Everyone else wants to go eat their meat. Go enjoy your rat balls.
Woohoo, rat balls!
No, those aren't found. Those are in the lower district. You can get those by the tin.
One of the stalls that you guys are stopping at, to kind of hear you talking. This is a female charr who has markings of the Ash Legion. And she says,
I mean, if you're looking for something that's not meat, you could try the shallows. Last time I was down there, I saw one of your people. They might have something. I don't know.
It just point the way.
You can take one of the lifts. If you go back up, take a left. It's about 400 feet on the right, next to the command core.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone want to come find this with me, or I'll just go myself? Okay.
We can't
um,
let you go to the slums alone.
Yeah,
Petrie's grand search for a vegetable.
Yes.
Almost the same as the whaling episode.
I'm going on an
It's not quite as radical.
I don't know. You don't know what you'll see down there.
I'm about to find out. I mean, I'll go with Keytree.
It gets dicey. If anybody asks you if you want the Sunday special, Kitri, you tell them no. You do not want that. Okay.
But what
have
day?
been down that
It's not
road.
even Sunday.
We should probably all stick together.
Just don't. Just absolutely not.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should all stick together. That means I should go in the grenade store.
Brina? I don't know. I'll think about it.
All right. I'll get the rat first. This is perhaps a derogatory question, but do the charr do books? Like, is there a book? Down.
Yes.
Do these people read? I don't know.
They do.
Or
It's
they-
so. I will say yes. You know that they do. You do not know the history of it, but yeah,
the history of
uh,
reading or the history of their bookstore?
the history of literature among the charr.
Mm. What was that one book you were looking for, Brina? Like the sequel or something from like.
Well, okay. Snargle Goldclaw. This is the smut adventure that I'm trying to complete. There's
Right.
not a lot of things in my life that I feel have to be finished. But this does, for sure. There's Destiny's Pledge, which is really good. I feel like they would have that here unless is like blasphemy. Yeah, or slander.
Was the author of those books Charr? Right? I can't remember.
Oh,
Nargle Goldclaw.
That's definitely.
I think it's just a
One.
human pretending to be a charr.
that feels racially questionable. But that's such a human thing to do. So
Appropriation is natural.
Yeah.
that is my journey. That
You could go
Fried
look for
Rat
that
and
book.
Grenade.
You could try and find the next book in your sequence.
I agree. That and the rat and the explosives should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So who's going to the factory district and who's going to the slums?
Factory district. That's where my contact is. Yeah.
My contact is obviously in the slums.
Yeah,
Contact.
I'm going to Kadri then.
Okay.
To the factory district with the intention of finding a bookstore?
Okay. So Birdie and Kala and Brina head to the factory canton and then split as Kala and Birdie go looking for his contact and Brina goes looking for a book. The other two make their way down to the shallows, to the Gladium canton. Okay. I will say, Brina, make an investigation check for me, and this is just gonna talk about how much time it takes. In the hustle and bustle and all the distraction of military preparations and smithing, 13. So it takes you about an hour of looking, but you are able to find what looks like a small shop of sorts. It's more of like a curiosities shop than a book shop.
Even better.
But it does have like a small, kind of rusty iron shelf that looks like it's fairly well cleaned. It doesn't have any ash laying on it. And there are a number of books kind of sitting there in disarray, not really in any particular order. But asking around, you are directed at long last to this place. And the proprietor does have one book by the famed Snargle Goldclaw. He is, after all, pretty well known among the charr.
Okay.
I don't trust male fan fiction writers, but or smut writers, but
I think I have a
Jeez.
note of which books you have.
I have read Swan Song. There's no I have no copy. I know that A Kralkatorid Affair exists, but I haven't read it. Destiny's Pledge, I have a copy of and have read. Swan Song, I think Helga Page Turner loaned me her manuscript.
Right.
This
Previously
notes
unpublished.
Yeah. First edition. Hello, fellow book enjoyer. I'm looking for a book.
Yeah, so this is an older female charr. She has just like sort of plain civilian clothes on, which for a charr is almost like just sort of like tying yourself up in a burlap sack. Like it just sort of like hangs off of her like a robe would, but it's kind of rough, coarse material. But it bears the insignia on the breast of the Iron Legion. And she says, "Huh? Don't get many Norn around here. You're looking for something particular?"
Yes. As a steward of literature, I'm just looking for any works by the great Snargle Goldclaw.
Ah, a discerning taste, I see.
Interesting.
I do happen to have one here, I believe. And she kind of fidgets through the books a little bit. Ah, here we go. She hands it to you, and you see on the cover, the title says, Coda's Warmth.
Oh my god. What's
Fuck.
It's not its best work, but I don't know, I kind of liked it.
You know, I just hung out with a bunch of Coden, so I feel like this is gonna be interesting.
I think you might. It's actually about one of your people.
You know, I read Swan Song recently by,
I've heard of that one, but I've not read it myself.
you know, I thought the depiction was a little overzealous, but that is the joy of reading.
True Goldclaw style.
True gold claw work, that's what I'm saying. Oh my god. How much for Coda's Warmth?
Oh, it's pretty well worn. I'd just say a gold piece.
Ugh, you are my hero.
No problem. Always a pleasure to serve those who have a more literary bent. We don't get a lot of traffic in books here.
A shame. You seem like a creature of intellect yourself.
I've been known to dabble here and there.
Is there anything like in their store of the knick-knack variety that's interesting? Just off the top of your giant DM brain.
Most of it looks like junk.
Excellent.
There is one piece that it's odd. It almost just looks like a piece of steel, like a cylinder, about 2 feet long. It clearly has what looks like a place for a hand grip in the center, sort of sculpted, kind of bowed out a little bit with what look like finger grip areas. But it has like a couple of thinly outlined places on the bar, and as she sees you looking at it, she's like, I wondered if that might catch your eye. Here, look, this is pretty neat. She picks it up. She kind of holds it up beside her head, long ways from you, and she presses the button, and it telescopes out to about 10 feet.
That's so sick.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. I'm not really sure who built it or why, but it's a little surprise. And she presses the button, and it shrinks back up to about, foot and a half.
Don't I have one of these?
I don't know. Do you?
I feel like I have something similar because I remember trying to let me look.
I like this. This is very cool. I love a stick that becomes larger. Anything I can hit people with is always a plus. What are the chances that you would, and I've been told I need to keep this on the down low. What are the chances you would have any explosives?
She knits her eyebrows. We're a curiosity shop here. We don't really have
Explosives
anything
are
in the way of
curious. So,
weaponry. I mean, this isn't really built for hitting people, but I mean, I suppose you could. But it's about the closest thing we have to a weapon here.
I feel like this is.
I know it's unusual, but not all of our people are weaponsmiths.
I know. I was just wondering if, like, you had stumbled into just in your search for curiosities, like a really curious grenade, or like I'm good. I'm just really jealous. It's not important.
She like pulls the door aside and like sticks her head outside and is looking around. You with the 5-0?
I'm not with the cops.
What are you
I'm
doing?
gonna-
We're a curiosity shop. Did the Adamant Guard send you?
No,
You tell them I'm legit.
I will. I'll tell them you're legit. Thank you for the book.
You're welcome.
I'll let you know how it is. Have you read Destiny's Pledge yet? Because I'll loan it to
I
you.
have.
Okay.
Loved that one.
It's weird shit with Ritlock, but
It was a little weird, but you know, I always kind of wondered.
anyway. Alright. I'll go look for explosives somewhere else. We're just teetle toddles along.
As you spend a couple of minutes walking around the canton, flipping through the book, you come across the passage that says it appears to be between a Norn warrior and a Coden. And a section catches your eye. It says, "Is there a problem, beast?" Olaf said, puffing out his chest. It was meant to intimidate the Coden, but to his dismay, it served to entangle Rising Hammer further. A moment of silence stretched between the two grizzled warriors, the Coden's claw remaining softly nestled in the Norn's luxurious, rippling chest hair. "I just realized," Rising Hammer said, breaking the silence with his quiet growl, "your fur is softer than mine." Olaf's heart skipped a beat. Through all their scuffles, their intense clashes of will, he thought of Rising Hammer as an obstacle to be overcome, but in reality, he was always the destination. Somehow, this Coden had clawed his way into Olaf's heart, and now being apart was unbearable.
I have chills.
That's good.
Ugh, I love it.
Rena's just kind of like, it's not my favorite, but it's not bad.
Meanwhile, Kala and Birdie. Birdie, you expertly navigate. You know this area well. You pass around the edge of a bar that's kind of central to this area, called the Serrated Blade. A place you've passed many a night listening to stories and learning some of the war chants of the legions. And you make your way to a understated, humble establishment. It's not even big enough to really have a named sign outside. Just a weaponsmith's mark. And you know this is the residence of Arana Sootclaw, one of the firearms merchants here in the Citadel that you've dealt with before.
Yeah.
The door is
Just
standing open.
yeah, just turn to Kala. Look, it's gonna be. I don't know if you're used to shady deals like this, but just let me do the talking. You know, they don't know you yet. I'll make sure I introduce you and all that stuff, and you know, we'll play it very cool. Okay. Just follow my lead. Just follow my
That's
lead.
what you want. I mean, I could probably just walk in here and buy some grenades.
I wouldn't. It's
Mhm.
yeah. I would just follow my lead. Okay. And her name's Arana.
Arana.
Arana. Just
Arrana.
Arana. Okay. Her name's Arana. And honestly, Kala, just match my energy, follow my lead. Okay. It's all gonna be good. Okay. I walk in. Arana, hello.
There is this moment where a fairly large, dark brown furred charr with short cropped black mane starts, and you see like her eyes are covered in these big welder's goggles. There is a shower of sparks, and she goes, "Oh, no, 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 no!" And she starts tamping them out on the desk, and you can see like a fine coat of black powder everywhere. Oh, oh.
Hello. It is great to see you.
Hey,
This is
the
Kala.
little mouse.
She's cool. Yeah, yeah.
It's been a while. I hear you've
It
been up to some
has.
trouble.
I have, and frankly, looking to get into some more, and I knew exactly who to come to.
She kind of like squints a little at well, she takes off her welder's goggles and puts them on her forehead, and you see like her curled sort of ram's horns hanging down behind her head. Squints a little at you. Ah,
She's all
heard
right.
about you, former flame. Flame and gunpowder don't mix.
I vouch for her. She's cool. She's cool. I promise. We've been through a lot together.
I'll say in charr through thieves' cant that we're just looking to buy some grenades.
Not your
Birdie-
average Gladium. Okay.
Birdie turns back, just in common. So we're just looking to buy some grenades.
Shh. She motions to you, Kala.
There's nobody in here.
Door.
What?
Door.
Yeah, I lock the door.
I can't be selling to a bunch of mice. No offense. She points to you, Kala. If word got out I even sold to someone ex-flame, I don't care if you killed a dragon. It could be my license. They take away my right to
Dragons?
produce in the city.
Yeah, it's 3 now.
Yeah, dragons, plural.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
frankly,
word
hey,
travels fast.
he pulls out of his pocket his business card. If anybody gives you trouble like that, you give me a call, okay? Because I'll wipe that away.
Is that-
Gone.
Different than the last one you gave me? I've got one.
Well, this one, yeah, but frankly, why not have another? Just in case you need to get in touch.
I just
Yeah,
shrugged.
She just takes it and like sets it down on the
There you go.
counter.
This is gonna be worth a
So-
lot of money one day.
What are you in the market for?
Well, we're fighting some pretty big dragons, so whatever makes the biggest boom.
Hmm.
Also something small for my friend, like non-lethal. I don't know, maybe like a candle or something. Uh,
No candles here.
um, like a gear,
Maybe some smoke bombs.
Smoke bomb would be fun. Smoke bomb would be fun for her.
I've got some smoke grenades if you want them.
Yeah.
They're $2.50 a piece. It's hard to pack them in. She pulls out a little
Sure.
chest and it's got like 6 of these little black steel balls.
Yeah. Oh, 250. We'll take 2 of those. Yeah.
All right. She picks up 2, puts them on the counter.
Okay, 2 of those. Let's see. I mean, you still got the regular grenades, I'm guessing.
I do. Those are $3.50. The chemicals are a little harder to come by.
Sure. I'll take 2 of those.
Those are $3.50. She
Yeah.
pulls out another chest and she's got about a half dozen.
Oh, yeah. 7 plus 5, 1200. Okay. I'm just thinking how much I can earn back in one night of gambling.
It's an important calculation, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's good. So we've covered the basics at this point. I'll say my current firearm is an Asura build. He kind of
Ooh.
lops it up
Let
on
me
the
see, let me
table.
see.
The Persuader. Yeah.
Oh, that's a
So-
fine piece.
It is.
I
It
like
gets
it.
the job done. It's
This is one of the Persuader
force
models, right?
munitions. Yeah, Persuader model.
Oh, I've been trying to
Double
get
barreled,
schematics
which I
on these
like.
for
Yeah.
a while.
Well, if you've got something of equivalent value, we might be able to work a trade.
Equivalent value, brother. I got equivalent value and I got more than.
Do you? Okay. Let's hear you out.
Let's step into the back. Come on, step
Yeah,
into my
yeah.
office. She turns around.
I'll make
There's
it.
this
I'll make
big,
it worth your
heavy
while.
black curtain, and you hear like as she grabs and moves it to the side that the cloth itself is rough and very thick and heavy, but it seems to be like sandwiching a curtain of like chainmail. you hear like the heavy clinking of metal. She pulls the skirt aside, and the top doesn't move. She just kind of like lifts the corner and gestures, and ushers you guys into like a back room. It's not quite as large as the front room, but as you walk in, there are a couple other black curtains around the edges. There are no windows back here. It's kind of cool and very dark. She walks in, and as you guys enter, she comes in behind you and pulls that curtain shut, and it goes pitch black for a moment. And she just turns and says, "Lumos." And a little lantern standing next to the door lights up with a magical, non-heat producing light. You see what kind of looks like a workshop. Like you guys have seen similar things in Asuran homes and throughout the canton here with people who have like workbenches and bits of metal, hammers, tongs, tools. On the far side of the room, though, about 10, 15 feet away from you, there's another big black chain curtain. She walks over, kind of rubbing her claws together. "I think you'll like what I have." And this, as she pulls it slides on a metal rail across the top and fully reveals a set of racks that are mounted on the wall. And you see
like an armory.
You see very much similar to the pistol that you were gifted when you spent your time with the Legion, an Iron Legion pistol, kind of set in the center. But there are some more advanced pieces around it. There is what kind of looks like the pistol, but it's much longer. It's about 3 feet long. The barrel, the stock is a little more hefty. You know, you've seen some of the Adamant Guard carry around similar long rifle type weaponry. This one though has arcane sigils inscribed on the barrel, some like really stylized script as well. And as you move in the light, it kind of like glints a little bit, like it's made from a different metal than the rest. She gestures to that and says, "That we don't really have much of a need for anymore. That's a ghost bore musket. We built them to fight the ghosts along the wall."
Okay, cool fucking name.
I thought so. I didn't build that, but it came into my possession, shall we say.
Okay, what does it do? Like, what's special about a ghost bore musket?
It inflicts more destruction on things of a spectral nature.
Fair enough. I've got enough experience there. Didn't catch your drift.
Your mundane ammunition, just tends to go through things like that. They're sort of resistant to it. This gets around that. Very handy for people who are deployed in ghost-heavy zones, but demand being what it is, I was able to acquire one for myself.
Sure.
Special
You're
order,
welcome.
though.
I think I played a part in that demand, so you know.
So I hear.
Okay.
That is a custom job. That's 1,000 gold pieces.
That's 1,000. Okay.
Let me grab this real quick.
So does this take ammunition, or is this like the Persuader here, where it kind of generates its own arcanely?
This is charr build. While it is magically enhanced, it does require ammunition.
Okay.
So, for all intents and purposes, it is a musket. It's a +1.
It's a musket.
Muskets do 1d12 piercing. It's kind of heavy. Weighs about 10 pounds.
Okay.
There is a second pistol kind of hanging point down next to the Iron Legion standard issue. And she says, "Now this was specially crafted. I got a connection on the inside. They've been consulting with the Asurans. They don't want people to know that. But this can fire more shots before you have to reload it." And you look at it, it's actually got like 6 barrels and they all sort of rotate.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, this one's not going to help you much against something you can pass through, like a ghost, but
Okay.
it's a little easier to deal with because you can fire more shots before you have to take a knee.
Okay. What kind of damage are we looking at? What caliber?
This one is 2d8 piercing.
Is this like effectively like a
It's a
revolver,
revolver.
or okay?
Yeah, but instead of a revolver tiny chamber, it's like the whole barrel rotates.
Okay.
Like a
I love that. Yeah.
steampunk revolver. Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. Okay.
She pulls out a small chest and kind of sets it up, opens the top, and you see another 6 grenades laid in. Now these I've been working on. I recently, shall we say, expanded my horizons. I made a good connection, actually, in your hometown, and I've been working on some tech inspired by the Asura.
Okay.
These, I call them tanglers. You throw these, and when they explode, they entangle everything around them. Good for controlling things that are coming after you, stopping them in their tracks so you can pick them off at your leisure.
Okay. I like it.
These are 500 apiece. Very difficult to come by.
500
Custom
apiece,
jobs,
sure.
but I guarantee the quality.
Okay. Yeah. I always assume it's top notch from you.
Gives you a wink. And then she goes and reaches just under the pistols at the bottom level of this rack. There's something that looks very much like your Persuader, but it
Okay.
has a really big, round, like Tommy gun style barrel underneath it. It's about that big around, and as you look at it profile, it's about that thick. And she says, "Now this beauty, this I've been working on. It doesn't have my mark on it because if they find out I sell it to someone else, the Legion comes
Yeah,
for me.
Sure. Want
But
it
with
clean.
this beauty, you can take these grenades and chuck them 3 times as far as you ever could.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah.
Gives you a little more horsepower, a little more
Sure.
maneuverability, keeps you further from danger. That's 1500.
Yeah. 1500 for that. Okay. Interesting. And how much for the revolver here?
That'd be 750.
750 for the revolver. Okay. All right. I mean, is that the wares you've got at store right now?
That's all the safe wares that I got in store right now.
Well, do you have unsafe things?
I've got some
I mean, we're fighting dragons here.
something experimental if you're into spending a bit of coin here.
Here's a little secret, and you might not be able to tell from my outfit, but I'm practically made of money. I'm something of a gambling prodigy, and for some reason, and I've tried, I can't lose. So I'm saying let's make your day, let's make my day. Yeah.
She kind of looks at you, Kala. Word if this doesn't leave this shop. We are understood. She kind of looks around a little bit, even in this totally isolated room, just to like check in the corners. She goes and gets underneath a shelf, and like you see her lift what looks like a dirty fucking oily rag. And she reaches her claws under the shelf, and she's like trying to fit her massive charr claws up under there. Eventually you hear a faint creak of like rusty metal hinges. She pulls out a little rusted metal like iron box, only about 4 inches tall, but about a foot long and maybe 6 inches deep. She sets that on the table nearby, puts one claw on it, and says, "Now, I've been trying to get something like this for a while. I had the schematics smuggled out of the College of Dynamics. Something special. One of their senior projects they were working on. Very experimental, next gen stuff. I got a connection. He got it for me, sold it to me, and I've been working to build this. It's as good as I could get it for now, but it costs a lot of energy. I'm not really used to dealing with that sort of tech, right? So you gotta kind of let it get to know you, and it's gonna draw some of your energy from you, right? I can't really test it.
Okay.
I'm not a spell slinger myself.
Sure. Okay.
But once you connect to it, I could maybe modify your persuader and add this element.
Okay.
If you use all the juice too quick, there's a chance it could blow up.
Good
But-
bust, yeah.
Assuming you can restrain yourself. And it'll be difficult, I assure you.
Old assumption, yeah, sure.
This fires a beam of... Hang on. And she cracks the lid and she pulls out a little piece of paper, uncrumples it, and it's like badly crumpled paper that's been in someone's pocket too long, and she's like smoothing it out on this rusty thing. You can see it's just smeared with like soot and grease stains. She kind of holds it up to the light. Electrostatic energy.
Okay.
Basically, it hits the target, and it seizes up like rigor mortis. And it effectively just paralyzes them until you can deal with them at your leisure. It doesn't work on like really big targets, but for your average Joe, I mean, it might as well be a death sentence. And you see, like, she smiles, and like she's got this one fang that has this habit of sticking over her lip at all times.
Sure.
Lopsided grin.
So this would be like an addition to my persuader. I hit somebody with this and I can expend charges to...
Yeah, she cracks
Seize
open the
him up.
lid, and you can see it's like a long, maybe 10-inch long piece of metal. It's got like a smooth, hollow. It's almost like half the barrel of a gun sliced horizontally, but it's sort of got like a bit of stock attached to the bottom. Says, if you give me a little time, I could add this to the bottom of your persuader. You put it here. She shows you to go like where your hand holds the shotgun.
Yeah,
Kind of like the bit where you pump.
sure.
Like I
Yeah.
could add it to there. You got to maintain contact with it. But as long as you got it there and you're sort of connected, it can draw its power from you. You can activate it. Maybe she pulls out another sheet of paper and does the same sort of uncrinkle thing. Maybe 6 or 7 times. But if you hit it all, let's say in the same 24 hours, it might go boom.
Sure.
The best Azura tech stuff does, right? It's kind of the
Right,
point of those
right.
people.
Does it scale? Like more juice at once is stronger, or is it one at a time?
Not really. It's not so much a destructive thing. It doesn't tear them apart. It just hits them,
Right.
and the shock
It hits 'em.
messes with their nerves or something, and it's just like they freeze up and seize up. Yeah.
How effective is that? Trying to gauge, like, is the DC static or is the DC based on my DC?
DC is static.
Okay.
So this effectively functions as a wand of paralysis. It fires, I think there are 7 charges. You can expend a charge.
Yeah.
It's a DC 15, I think a con save, or they're paralyzed for a minute. And if you use the last charge, it has a chance to destroy
Right.
itself.
Oh man. And how much is that going to go for?
This was extremely difficult to get. I had to rely on my new contact, and let me tell you, he ain't cheap.
Sure.
For this, I'd have to ask 5 large.
Woo, 5 large.
It's pricey, but if you're gonna play with the big boys,
Yeah.
I have to ask just because I'm reading it. Does it get the 60 feet or is it restricted to the 40 feet of the gun?
oh, it's
Ooh,
full
good
60.
question.
It's full 60.
Full 60. So let me ask this: if it's on the persuader, is it like function as like I shoot the persuader and I can send a charge to stun him, or is it like
No,
one or
when
the
you
other essentially?
it effectively adds it to the persuader so that you can have it in your hand at the same time,
Gotcha,
and
gotcha,
it doesn't have to be a separate piece of equipment.
gotcha.
So does that make it attunement? Does it already require
It is
attunement?
attunement.
Is it
Yeah, you have to
yeah,
attune.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You effectively treat it just like the wand. It's just that the wand is
Right, right.
attached to the gun.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take 2 smoke grenades, 2 regular grenades, 2 tanglers. Kala, do you think Brina would like a revolver, or is that too on? I mean, is a gun
I don't
too
know
much?
if she knows how to use one.
I don't know if that's really the point. I do like the idea of having a revolver. How much damage does a revolver do?
2d8.
2d8. That's about what I'm packing right now, though. 40 feet range. Don't have to reload. Gotta carry munitions for that. All right, I'm gonna pass on the revolver. Ooh, grenade launcher. Repelling ground to 120 feet. That
Yeah, all the grenade launcher does is it lets you launch it further than
yeah,
throwing it.
it's only 7 pounds. Okay.
Still a fucking grenade launcher.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass on that. The paralysis persuader, 5 grand. It's the DC I'm worried about, but it's pretty fucking cool. Also, it requires attunement, which is the killer. Because I could take the Afridi armor off. Because, like, honestly, in the league we're playing in, a 16 versus 14 ain't that big a deal. Like,
But your nipple armor.
I will lose the nipples. What is my AC without resistant to fire damage? That's nice. What's my AC with just leathers?
I don't think that'll be helpful against the Flame Legion, though.
Yeah, it only bumps my AC up by 1 and gives me fire resistance. Do we know if any of the other dragons are fire based? Doesn't feel like it, does it?
You know Primordius is.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's like made out of lava.
Yeah, it's bad.
He's made out of lava, huh? That's kind of the...
We've fought his destroyer minions before.
Right. I tell you what, then. Sweet. Man, paralyzed for a minute is pretty dope, though. On the smaller ones. I do like that. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'll work out. You know, I've always found it's better to buy and not need than need and not buy. So okay, 1,200, 2,200. What's the grand total? I think there's 7,200 gold for the grenades
it.
and the paralyzer. All right. Yeah, that seems fair.
My little mouse.
Can we call it? Can we
I
call it
missed
an
you.
even? Can we call it an even 7,000 since I'm doing so much business for you?
Make a persuasion check.
Be happy to. 26. Get out of town.
She just sort of like leans over and takes her sooty paws, puts them on the side of your face, gives you a little charr kiss on the head.
My friend, for you. An even 7 grand it is.
Perfect.
An absolute
perfect.
pleasure doing business. Honey, is there anything I could get for you?
No, no, I need to be super quiet. So anything that explodes is bad for me.
Oh yeah, we don't do that well here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, let me just add all these grenades to my. Perfect. Yeah, I think we're square then. I mean, I'll tell you, the grenades have really come in clutch. There was one time we were in this like super secret den of some kind. These two guards, chuckle fucks, sitting up there, just totally like, guarding a door or something. I just rolled one of these right out to him. Didn't see it coming. Frankly, nobody did. Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Always good to see
Yeah.
another satisfied customer.
Indeed, indeed. All right, and then what else? I get a wand of paralysis. That is something else. All right. Well, I'm sure I'll be back. I got to go make some more money at the tables, frankly, but I don't see that being an issue. Amara, always a pleasure. I know who to come to when I'm in town.
Absolutely. And honey, you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
All right. She shows you guys back out the front door.
Eventually,
You do find Brina. And now Alexa. Was there something else?
do I need to give her my persuader to attach that wand to? Does that take time or come back
for like
in-
an hour or so? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You guys
we'll
kind of
just
walk around
hand
looking for
wave that.
food.
Yeah.
Kala can show you the finer points of charr cuisine.
As soon as Brina sees them, she's like, man, no grenades so far. I asked, but I did find this book. Woo!
You did what? You
Found the book.
asked? Oh, fuck, Brina.
How else are you supposed to find
I
the
feel
grenade?
much better about my decision not to take you with me. But I do have something fun for you. Kala, come here. Brina, stand over
What?
there for a minute. Plug your ears. Plug your ears for a minute. Paige. Kala, should I give her a real
I am
one
plugging
and
my ears for
tell
now.
her it's a smoke one? Would that be fun? Just to have it in, like, just to see what happens? I mean, God, I feel like we need a little spice. Is it bad?
Mm.
Morally? Ethically?
What if she decides to throw it for just like a joke? Thinking it's just
Yeah.
and she blows real people up though.
Yeah, it could be really bad.
Mm.
Really funny though. All right. Brina, you can open it. Okay, hey, yeah, you're good. You're good.
What did you guys talk about? I don't like
Brina?
this game. What?
This is, I got for you, a real grenade. It will explode upon impact and cause devastation around it. Treat it gently.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll your insight check.
I'm gonna make my roll.
fail.
I'm not gonna.
I-
Yeah, my modifier
Yeah.
for either one of those is higher than that. So
All right.
yeah, he's telling the truth.
Okay.
This is a real live grenade.
All right. Okay. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. Do I just put it in my pocket? And which button do I press to make it explode?
You just pull this little pin out,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you just toss it.
Is anybody watching us? Listening?
No, I just put it in her jacket pocket, kind of. Yeah, very very suave, deftly, dexterously, even some may say.
Okay, you pulled the pin. Can I put the pin back in it if I change my mind?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. No, that doesn't. I don't think that'll work well.
And how many would you say I have, like, how many seconds after I pull the pin?
About three. About three. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll think on it hard. One.
Three rata soon. You know that one? Yeah,
One
counting one rata soon.
Two rata
Two rata.
soon,
There you
three
go.
rata
There you
soon.
go.
Yeah, I
Right.
know.
Right.
I got that one. Okay,
Sure.
well, I'll just put this in my pocket. And nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. Just don't pull the pin until you're ready, because it will
Explode and cause damage.
explode. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, into the inventory it goes. Grenade from Bertie. La 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 la.
All right. As you guys hang around the Canton Factorium, Alexa and Kitri, you find your way to this very large, like 15-foot diameter, kind of circular platform on heavy chains that is winch operated, and there are a couple of charr standing nearby. 2 or 3 people get on with you. They activate a lever, and you hear the sound of chains as they begin. As they are engaged, and the lift begins to lower you down slowly. And it's a slow ride, and it takes quite a while. You descend about 200 feet, and as you step off, you can see to the west there is the large structure of the Bane, the big Coliseum area, the big open gate kind of leading into the stands. To your left, you can see what looks almost like the best I could describe it is like if you see those old-timey pictures of skyscrapers being constructed. It's just fucking metal beams and scaffolding and, conduit hanging everywhere, metal plates just sort of leaned up with panes of glass, and it all sort of twists and turns, and it kind of generally winds its way further down. Follow that path for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, gradually getting lower and lower, and you start to see that among the iron beams there are makeshift platforms where little tents have been set up, sometimes just 2 or 3 strands of rope with cloth sort of draped over sloppily in different areas. Some places where makeshift fire pits or braziers have been erected, gently sort of simmering with grill grates over them. You smell the cooking of food. Ultimately, you sort of wind up in this central area. It's sort of like just like a little slummy tent city. It's a lot of like sacks and rugs and things that are thrown over beams and ropes. But there is one central sort of circular structure, almost like a yurt, and it's just built from debris. There are a couple of big plates of rusty iron, some freestanding beams, almost like teepee style, leaning against each other, and the whole thing is cloaked in old hides. You see like there are a couple of long like overcoats that have just been like nailed up onto it to provide a bit of cover. And all around you is the ever-present sound of like dripping water. And off to the sides you can see areas where ankle-deep streams just sort of rush over the iron and down onto bare earth and sort of puddle and pool before running off a little ways extra, or like into the distance. Everything here kind of seems to center around this larger yurt. And as you approach, you see that the big flaps out front have kind of been pinned open. There seem to be several charr inside. You also notice there is a human man kind of sitting at a makeshift bar. It looks like it's built out of pieces of driftwood that have been sloppily, haphazardly nailed together. And he is just leaning on his elbow, head leaning on a hand, and you can see periodically he lifts a drink to his lips, takes a big sigh, and his shoulders kind of rise and fall. See one of the charr go over and sort of pat him on the back a little bit, kind of nudge him with an elbow. They mutter, and the charr walks away, and he's goes back to his drinking. As you walk in, everybody kind of turns to look. There's a slight lull, and then everyone goes back to kind of quietly murmuring their own little private conversations.
Well, this is quite the lovely little place down here.
Yeah, I don't think I quite understood what they meant, and now I do.
Sometimes
But,
seeing
you
it for
know.
the first hand is the best way to experience things.
you know, this is people live here too. So did she say that when she said your kind, do you think she meant another Sylvari, or do you think she just meant like the human guy? Like eh, like
Hmm.
humanoid.
I did at first think she meant Savari, but now I do think maybe she meant mouse.
As you guys stand there talking, the human sort of like stumbles a bit off his arm and sits up, turns, leaning one arm over his chair, and gives you a long look. It says, "Well, fuck me running. And an Asura, huh? Whoa, what brings you two travelers down to the slums?"
Sights, scenes, and some greenery.
Greenery of food, preferably. Or just anything that's not carnivorous.
Turns and kind of like leans back over the bar. "Hey V, get out here. We got another weed looking for some food." You hear some rummaging in a little area behind it's got its own special like indoor cover. It looks like a couple of canvas sacks over what looks like a really poorly made stove. Some clanking of glass, and then a Sylvari steps out in a dirty apron, cleaning what looks to be some sort of wooden mug. "Oh, hello, sister.
Hello.
And companion. Please, come in. Welcome. Make yourselves at home. I'm Vienna Thari. This asshat is Donald." And you see the guy just like chugs what's left in his mug, says, "Whatever. Give me another."
What did you say his name was? Sorry.
They say Donal. Donal.
Okay, okay. I thought that's what it was, but then I put a D on the end just in case.
Donal Regland. This unfortunate case was captured, imprisoned. One of the soldiers of Ebonhawk. Since the treaty was signed, all prisoners were freed. Can't get rid of the poor bastard now. And Donald sort of like grumbles a little bit into his mug. "I hate it here. I hated it as much as the next charr. Did my part. Now I'm gonna learn a trade. I'm gonna make some coin."
What kind of trade you want to learn, Donald?
I've never seen Stockholm Syndrome in real life.
I'm gonna be a welder. Put pieces of metal together with fire.
Okay. It's an honorable trade.
Yes, it is.
Preferably not one you do while drunk.
I can weld sober. I can weld drunk. I'm good either way. I'm a dab hand or so, my trainer tells me.
Good on you, Donald. Good on you. Good luck with your welding.
Yanathari kind of has been fiddling with a drink and turns around, gently slides a mug over to him. "Take your time. Slowly now." Donald takes a drink. "Oh, that's fucking terrible. It's not ale." "No, it's not, but it will help. Sober up." Alright. He sort of like lays his head down on his arm, takes a couple of deep, slow breaths with his eyes closed. "It will be that way for a moment. It's alright. Please, are you looking for some food? I imagine there's not much here to interest you, sister."
Not quite. But was interested to hear of a Sylvari amongst all of the charr.
It is unusual, for
Happy
certain.
to see a familiar face.
Always. Well, what brings you to the Citadel? Has your wild
Um,
hunt led you here?
I guess you could say so. We're what was his name, Alexa? We're looking for that one guy.
Oh, the Tribune?
We're gonna find someone, and I should probably remember his name, but honestly, we see so many people, and I mean,
You're
it's
looking for
kind of
one of
hard.
the Tribunes?
Yeah.
Wow. Color me impressed. You've got some pull here. The Charr
Oh,
Tribunes are
I don't
very
know about
important.
that. I'm still we're no charr. We're just sort of like
I mean,
here.
Oh, I mean the Tribunes don't meet with just anyone, sister.
she's burying the lead. You may have heard we're from the Trollskull 6. I'm Alexa.
They kind of lean back and their eyes widen
And
a little bit.
I'm Kitri.
Ah, that makes much more sense. I could smell the valiant of the hunt on you. Here, please. They reach down under the bar and they pull up. It's a modest bowl, but it's got a cluster of grapes and a couple of apples. It's not much, but you're welcome to what I have.
Oh, I deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
They can be difficult to find here, but they do grow in the ruins of Ascalon. The Charr haven't burnt down all of the old crops, and usually they can sell them to outsiders here.
Is it then hard for you to get these?
It can be. I consider them a delicacy. I'm trying to convince the people. Shoot, what is the name of the town? There's a Charr settlement to the north of here, in the middle of Diesa Plateau, called Butcher's Block. They're sort of obsessed with meat and grilling. I'm trying to convince them that they can use some of the fruits to help accentuate the flavors, but convincing a Charr to do much of anything is quite a task.
Hmm. Yeah, with a name
Admit,
like that, I'm not surprised that's their specialty.
They provide most of the preserved meats for the legions around here. But if I can convince them to start using fruit in their recipes, they're more likely to tend the old groves and orchards.
it would probably really help their scurvy rates too.
If we could get some citrus, yes, I imagine.
It's really just, I mean, the tiniest smell goes a long way. It's crazy.
Even a little bit of fiber, even. Just any.
Whew. The lines to the latrine are kind of long.
Oh, and don't follow a Charr in there. It's not worth it.
Oh, no, we do sometimes at home.
Yes, there is a Charr among you. I've heard.
Yep.
Yeah, half the time we don't even know if she's here or not. So I don't think she's here right now, though.
At least like here with us.
Yes,
At least I don't think so. Maybe. Kala?
they say she moves like a shadow in the night. I've heard similar tales of the rest of your group's exploits. Your prowess on the field of battle, knowledge of the arcane. You, sister, I mean, you're something of a legend among our people.
Well, I suppose.
They're calling you one of the great harbingers.
Ooh.
A great avatar of change.
Are there other harbingers?
That's usually not a good thing.
That's
Depends on what tidings they bring. Where we come from, the title harbinger just means an agent of change, whether for good or ill. We tend to
Well.
call people who have great influence by that title.
Definitely just been trying to do my part. Um, not trying to. I'm not trying to make the world worse. I'm definitely trying to help. But yeah, I
Succeeding.
definitely didn't come out from the dream thinking that I would be doing this.
Hmm.
But here I am, and now I've met you.
The dream shows us all different things. In my dream, they sort of motion around them. I saw a city that never stops moving, built entirely from metal. It took me quite a while of questioning and searching before I found this citadel. It's breathtaking, really, though tragic. It saddens me to think how much vegetation had to die to make room for this structure. Humans did the same thing in Divinity's Reach, but they usually at least make a token effort to replace what they uproot. The charr are not so... I don't even know the word. Thoughtful, I suppose.
They're very industrious.
Indeed.
Plus, a lot of plants are like not really bigger than their foot. And speaking as a little one, they just don't look down a lot.
This is true, even for those of us sized as the humans are. Everything's small to a charr. But I won't have to worry about that too much longer.
Why not? Where you headed now? Or trying to head?
I'm saving up a bit of coin. I hear there are ruins of old Ascalon that still lie within the wilds nearby. While perhaps not interesting to folk of your stature, for those of us just beginning the adventuring life, it sounds promising. Perhaps I could find some ancient artifacts or some sort of interesting historical knowledge I could sell.
Player doesn't remember anything about the ruins specifically, but
You've not been to many around here.
um,
Just the catacombs.
oh, with the
You
fucking
ended the folk.
ghosts. Oh, well, it's definitely at least a bit safer now. But definitely
Indeed.
not don't go alone is the one thing I could say. It's not a great idea.
Well, if I could sober up this turd blossom, perhaps I could take him with me. It's always good to have a metalworker on hand, and he's actually quite an accomplished fighter.
I mean, I don't. The snark in me wants to say, how accomplished are you if you got captured?
Oh, don't underestimate the charr. I think his warband, or group, or whatever the humans call it, was captured by the Sentinels. Those charr that volunteer to guard the brand. They're the best of the best. Truly terrifying on the field of battle.
Then I guess it's the reverse, that he's lucky to be alive.
Indeed. He was badly wounded when he arrived, but fortunately the charr wanted information. And he was captured almost the same day as the negotiations began for the treaty, so they had a stay of execution as part of the ceasefire.
He's very fortunate then.
Indeed.
Fortunate to have found you as well.
Thank you. I like to think so. He's really not a bad chap when he's sober.
Hopefully his welding, I guess. Yeah. Watch out for that. Maybe don't let him near anything too flammable when he's drunk.
Absolutely. I think we might find some work in one of the nearby villages. There are some larger settlements in the Diesa Plateau, but we'll see what work we can find in between jobs. I've heard rumors of one of our siblings far to the east of here, near the Brand. Sometimes sentinels come in from the eastern edge of the plateau, or even from the Ascalon Highlands. Stories of all sorts of things, but at least one Sylvari has been seen ranging among the hills. Perhaps we'll run into them.
You might. Do you have any?
Never know. It's a great wide world.
Do you have any anything that you're taking with you to protect yourself on your adventures?
Oh, we've got some weapons and armor. He still has all of the equipment that he came in with. They did return it to him. I've managed to save a bit. I've got some decent equipment from some of the traders up top. Even though they will never admit it, some of the charr are actually quite interested in the green and growing things of the world. They do have to feed their livestock, after all. And I've managed to trade a bit here and there.
Well, thank you for your very kind hospitality.
You're most welcome.
I will.
If you take a bit of advice, just stay away from the Imperial smelter. It's extremely hot and it tends to dry us out a little more than the other races.
Oh, good to note. Also, where do you get do they have like fresh water? Like not like you know, or do they just
Water's easy to come by in the
you
Citadel.
seem like you're doing okay. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's okay.
No, you can find water at most places. Even the charr have to drink something.
I
And
mean,
they're
they
not
have
supposed to drink alcohol when they're on duty.
they have very strong constitutions, so I could imagine that drinking just
Indeed.
about anything would be fine for them.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's safe to drink here. Sometimes it has a bit of an iron taste to it, but it's not harmful.
I have 6 gold pieces in my pocket currently, and I will slide them all across the table.
Their eyes kind of light up. Thank you. Most appreciated. And please do take an apple for the road.
Oh, no. Keep that one for yourself.
You sure?
Absolutely. You deserve it. Good luck on your
Thank you.
adventures.
And you on yours.
I mean, hopefully you get to have adventures that only if Donald's, right? His name? Donald?
Mhm.
Only if he gets better?
Oh, he'll sober up in an hour or two. I've given him a health beverage, a bit of wheatgrass infused fruit juice, replaces the body's minerals.
But I guess what I apologize for beating around the bush myself, but it's a little early to be this hammered. Is he just always like this?
He's full of bluster and bravado. I think he doesn't want to admit it, especially not in front of the other charr, but he really misses his homeland. I think once we get outside the Citadel, among the rolling hills and the old orchards, I think he'll be more himself again.
Mm.
Then again, our people think that that's the answer to everything, is to get back in touch with nature, so I could be wrong. We'll find out.
Yeah, change can be a good thing.
A change of scenery at the very least.
Are there any like charr like directly around, I guess?
Oh yeah, the place has probably got like 15 charr in it. Little groups
Oh,
of
so
3.
I couldn't try to like unobtrusively give Donald a little bit of a lesser restoration pizzazz.
You could certainly try.
Mm.
Everyone's kind of murmuring to themselves quietly in their own conversations.
Well, do you think he wants to stay like this all day? It can't be good on your liver.
Oh, I won't let him have any more. I've cut him off. It's all right. He'll be fine.
Ah, let me help him out a bit. Let me just and I'll just use the like necklace of prayer beads because I get a at will lesser restoration.
Yeah. Okay.
Just sort of lean over, clap him on the back a bit, be like, there, Donald, it's okay.
Yeah. He kind of shudders a little bit in his sleep, and then starts to kind of lick his lips and blink his eyes slowly. Morning.
Yeah, feeling shocked, right?
Oh, I am. Place is every bit as ugly as I thought it was.
Well, that's good.
The
And Fiona
You and-
Torres says, "It's all right, Donald. Just relax. Take a deep breath. We'll get you some food."
You and V are gonna be headed out of here. Pat him on the back a few more times.
He's like leans forward, kind of like gives you a weird look. Like, yeah, sure.
Oh, I know what I'll do is as he's getting ready. Oh, actually, I do have a little kit. I reach into my backpack. I pull out the orb of direction and I hand it to her.
Ah. They are non-binary.
Yes.
Yeah, so they take it. Oh, well, thank you. And this does what exactly?
If you hold it up and say this word, it'll make sure that it always points north.
They say the word. Oh, how delightful! Oh, look, Donald. They go over and like set it down, and Donald takes it and kind of chuckles a little bit. Cool. Thank you. Slides it back over. See, I told you. Catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Donald just kind of rolls his eyes, takes another sip of his health drink, sets it down on the bar.
Well, should we go move on, Alexa? Should we find the others? I don't really know where they went. I don't think we were privy
Oh,
exactly to that
oh no,
information.
they went shopping. We just went in
You know
another
where
direction.
the ramp is to get down where they were.
Yeah, I mean, I could just pop in their minds, or we just take our time.
Well, we can do some window shopping if you like. See the sights to see.
I think we've seen enough.
Alright, so you guys head back up top.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
message Birdie. Well, I guess I won't because he's not actually there. I'll message Brina. Brina, are you all together? I think Kitri and I are finished down here.
Hey Alexa, yeah, we're in the factory district. You just come back up if you want. I found a book.
Yep, they haven't left anywhere there. Kitri, we can just head on back up.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Let's
There's,
go ride the really slow thing.
Yeah, as you guys get back on the winch, you're raised back up to the higher level, and there's an easy landmark in the Canton Factorium, the Serrated Blade Inn and Tavern. It's an odd structure. You have to take like a winding stair that goes around the exterior up to the height of about 15 feet, and it's this squat, round building that almost looks like a cauldron with the roof kind of laid on top, almost like the triangular conical Vietnamese hats, you know? It's sort of like sitting down on the top. The sides of the building sort of bulge out, and there's this wide circular opening in the plate metal. You all gather back in there. Alexa and Keecher, as you enter the door, there's a charr kind of sitting next to the door at a small fur charr table. talking to an buddy of his.
Yeah, I've been to the Bane lots of times, but I ain't never seen him open the iris in the floor for underwater combat yet.
The other one just says,
Yeah, that would be really cool. I've never seen that either. I hear it's a sight to behold.
as you guys enter, you see Kala and Birdie and Brina sitting at a corner booth, sort of curved into the wall all by itself. Brina's got a book splayed open on the table.
Her hand is like in her jacket pocket. Pay no mind. It's with her. It's with the grenade. She's messing with her grenade.
Uh-huh.
No.
Don't be weird.
Is that a really good book, Brina?
Yes. So apparently the Coden, it's like a bit of an enemies to lovers situation. It's kind of Snargle's MO for a lot of his work, but honestly, it's not my favorite. Bertie did give me a grenade, though.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Yep.
Apparently, you're supposed to count to 3 Ratasum before you throw it at anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be careful in your pocket too around hot heat things like the sword.
Yes, that is.
You're muted,
mm,
Alex.
mm,
I would say
Or we can't hear you at least.
Can you
bar
hear
is-
me now?
There it is.
Yes, now we hear you.
There
Right.
it is.
I was going to say, Brina, I do want to clarify one thing. You said count to 3 rod assume before you throw it at anybody, and I just want to make sure we are absolutely clear. You have to throw it before 3 rod assume, not throw it once you counted to 3 rod assume. Just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding.
Yeah,
here.
once you get to 3, that's when it explodes.
3 is explode time. So before then is when you want to throw it.
So
It's like pull, throw, just throw
hold
it.
the pin. Hold the pin. Count to 3.
Nope.
Throw.
That is.
Okay.
If you
Just
hit
forget
3,
the
if you
counting
hit
part.
3,
You don't
yeah.
need to count. Just pull and throw.
Count
Pull
to
It
it
sounds
through.
like
Yeah.
too many
Hold
steps.
the pin.
Yes. Count to 3, pull the pin, and throw it.
Then count to 3 again.
No,
No.
only one. Nope. Just the
Well, I
one
mean,
time.
after you throw it, you can count as much as you want.
Why don't you do that? Pull the pin, throw it, then count to 3.
And then just
We'll
count.
have Galata write a little instruction thing for you.
That would be
We
good.
can
I think that would be
tie
good.
it to the
Pin.
pin, and then you'll have the directions.
Make sure you
Alright.
pull the pin first so you can read the directions.
Exactly. And then count 2.
The bar is pretty bustling. It's pretty noisy. There's the clang of steel. You guys can hear through the windows like the clang of hammers and anvils around you. This grizzled old charr sitting at the bar lifts a small glass, and the bartender picks one up and lifts it. The guy sitting on the stool says,
There are old charr, and there are bold charr.
and they both join together and say,
But there are no old, bold charr.
I fucking heard that one before. Jeez.
Like,
It's
clang 'em
a
together
really
and-
common.
drain the whiskey,
They say it at all the
clap
time.
each other on the shoulders.
Yeah. Well.
I-
What now, gang? We
I think
shopped
we
out.
need a drink every time we hear it.
No.
Oh,
that's a
we'd
bad
be-
plan.
We'd be worse than Donald.
That's what we got magic for.
This is Donald. Did you find a vegetable?
Oh yeah, I found some grapes and an apple.
All
We
right.
found a human and another Silvari.
That's
They want
exciting.
to strike out on their own adventures in the Ascalonian ruins nearby.
No?
Wow.
What could go wrong?
Best
A
of
lot.
luck to him.
Ah,
Hmm.
I encourage them not to travel alone, but then again, there's only 2 of them, so
Ghost punching is pretty hard.
I mean,
Well-
it sounds like a pretty productive day overall.
I was trying to think, of who we can get in touch with to talk about, offer assistance, essentially, right? Now, with Ritlock being away, that does create a gap because he was probably the highest pecking order person I knew well. But honestly, Charr like direct communication, so I figure if we just walk in there, they're gonna kind of catch our vibe of authority. Yeah.
Should we like message Ritlock and ask him who we should talk to?
Probably
That
not.
to indirect.
Yeah, I don't want to
Last
step
time
on
we were
anybody's
here-
toes.
It was Toria Quickstep that we talked to. She was working with Ritlock.
That could be good. Yeah. Yeah.
And they could have assigned him somebody new, but that might be a good place to start.
Sharp collar. Wise. Yeah, have
Do you
a drink
remember
and
where
go.
yeah, do you remember where they were? I really don't know my way around this city. I
Sure, I
didn't
can
know
find
what
it. I'm sure I
what
can
you
find
meant
Consider
it.
by
this
The
a-
offices are kind of together, so
they were called the
ask a guard.
Shallows. Is that where we went, Alexa?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more like the knee deeps for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won't be down there, I don't think.
No,
no.
I just was saying that
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where I'm going, and I didn't know what the Shallows were before I had to ride the lifty thing for about 10 minutes.
Mhm,
But I guess
mhm.
20 total, because it's pretty slow. You know, the one thing I can at least give to the Asura is efficiency.
I love Kichu's like travel reviews. And another thing.
Alright, so where are you guys going?
The Imperator's Core.
Right. Guys, make your way out of the Canton Factorium, back up this wide rampart that goes up towards the command core. And like I said, there are these huge, 15-foot high statues of historical charr figures. One of them being Kala Scorchrazor, Kala's namesake.
Oh, that's cool.
Eventually, you are able to find your way in, and there's sort of like a large lobby area on the first floor that's kind of open mostly to the exterior, and you can see a spiraling ramp that just leads all the way around this huge 100-foot wide space, and it just continues to spiral up into the core above you. You can see, if you look up, about 100 feet up is a massive steel sphere just sort of suspended on iron beams with ductwork and things hanging from it. But the ramp does appear to lead up to it, so as you start walking at the foot of the ramp, there are two adamant guards that snap to attention, and as you approach, one of them just calls out,
Who goes there? What business have you in the command core?
You want me
We're
to? You want?
we're the Trollskull 6. We were hoping to talk to Tribune Brimstone, but we heard he's not in.
That's correct. The Tribune is on assignment. What's your business here?
We were hoping we could get like a status update on how things are going fighting Flame Legion. We were hoping to help out.
We're like the water brigade.
Mm.
the guy, you can see the wheels turning with that last bit. The guard standing on the opposite side of the staircase just says,
Well, I don't know who you are, but the war effort goes well. The Flames stand no chance against the United Legions. You can be on your way, and rest assured we have things firmly in hand.
Level of belief.
Yeah, heard that one
Pretty
since.
confident.
I mean, yeah, they've been saying that forever though.
Okay, I mean, guess we,
Is there somebody else we can speak to? I mean, because we traveled a long way, we killed a couple dragons, and we're kind of hoping to, make sure things are on the level here. Yeah, I've got a card if you would like one. We're the Trollskull 6. Have you heard of
He
them?
starts to say, outsiders are not permitted in the.
And as you say that, he hesitates. The other guy looks across to him and then looks at each of you.
Oh,
we are missing one, but
He's pooping.
He's doing a poo. Yeah.
Yeah, still. It's been out.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. It's been like a day.
The first one who addressed you sort of stands a little higher, and when a charr stands to his full height and the hunch on their back sort of straightens out a bit, they tower. And these guys are in like heavy plate with those wicked spines everywhere. You see the head sort of sweep the area, and then he lets out a sharp whistle and points a claw over your heads and beckons. You hear the clank of chainmail as a younger looking charr in still heavy, chain armor, but a little less doughty looking than these two, runs up and gives a crisp fist across the chest and salute. One of them says to him,
I need you to run up and grab Arrakis. Tell him the Trollskull 6 are here. I figure the Imperator might want to speak to them. Perhaps the Tribune.
the guy gives a swift salute and kind of like gives you a side eye real quick and just starts hoofing it. You hear the clack of his claws on the steel as he runs up this ramp, and he just kind of disappears into
Like call a level speed or just a normal sprint?
This is just like normal sprint.
Okay,
Yeah, he's heavily armored. He's kind of huffing it.
that's true. Yes.
One of them just says,
If you'll have a seat, there are some chairs there. When he returns, he'll bring the aide-de-camp to the Tribune of the Iron Legion.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, there's plenty of little seats and like small tables around the edge where it looks like groups kind of pull together to discuss various things. There are some tables.
if these are chairs, does that mean Alexa and I could fit on like one seat comfortably together with our
Pretty
tiny
well.
butts?
Like there are smaller like footstools that
Probably
are
get
decent
Birdie in
size,
there
but
too.
Yeah,
So I'm probably
the
sitting on a
chairs are
footstool
fairly large.
just to make it absurd.
Trina leans over to Birdie and is like, okay, if you're fighting the Flame Legion, does that make you a firefighter?
No. I'm a bard.
Wouldn't they be it would
Although
be
one time
flame fighters more directly? Because they don't go by Fire Legion.
I'm trying to make a pun and no one here. You
One
know
time
who
at
laugh
a-
at this joke? Galatar.
Well, that's not saying much, but if honestly, one time I was at a dancing club and I played the part of a firefighter, rather scantily dance routine. So
And what
I'll
else
let
happened
your
at this
all's
club?
imaginations run wild.
Was
with
there like
that
a
one.
builder there too?
I'd rather not let any imagination go anywhere with that one.
No,
I'll
I
just-
kind of like that one,
Fine.
Birdie.
Yeah,
Firefighter.
I made quite a bit of coin that night, as I recall. Yeah.
About 15 minutes go by before you hear the approach of footsteps along the iron gantry again. And this time the heavy chainmail armored charr is clearly out of breath and kind of like huffing a little, but he's walking, and coming behind him is an older looking charr, kind of orange fur, white whiskers on the chin, the short cropped kind of spiky mane that goes from the back of his head down his massive neck is tinged with a lot of gray. He has two very thick horns that have been cut flat at the ends, and then two smaller ones similar, like thick around, but also kind of cut about halfway, each capped with a little iron cap at the end. And he wears sort of nondescript brown robes, but they are cinched together over one breast with a large, what looks like wrought iron sigil of the Iron Legion. He stops and has a couple of words with the guards, looks over to you.
Trollskull 6, approach, please.
And you guys walk over.
I am Arrakis. I am the aide-de-camp of Bure Goreblade, tribune of the Iron Legion here in the Black Citadel. I'm told you wish to help in the war effort.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
we're
Tired
he-
of fighting dragons, are we?
I'm kind of
No,
like
we
in between
just-
jobs.
The goal has always been to kill flame males.
I mean, kind
I
of.
like the
If
cut
we
of your
can,
jib.
yeah.
I mean,
don't see any
someone asked us
boats
to come here,
anywhere.
if I recall.
I think the line of reasoning is if you all aren't fighting with the Flame Legion, perhaps we can deliver a more unified effort towards fighting the dragon. So to accomplishing that goal.
Shockingly
Oh, yeah,
coherent from
that
Birdie.
too.
Whoa.
I actually gained a point of intelligence recently, so
It shows.
That has been the general sentiment among the people here. Follow me. I'll take you to see the Tribune.
He just starts walking up the ramp.
Okay.
As you guys follow, you see that inside the overall spherical structure of the command core, each, like about every 20 feet or so, this ramp kind of levels out a bit and lets you off the ramp to a new level on the interior side. You can see like there are honeycombed rooms and passageways that kind of branch out in different directions. You can see High Legion officers from all three of the United Legions. And as you ascend the spiral, the officers appear to get more and more important in rank until ultimately you reach this hanging sphere in the center, the heart of it all, the Imperator's core. And the ramp terminates at a large metal iris door. And as Arrakis approaches it, he puts his hand over the sigil that he's wearing, and it kind of flickers with a dull yellow light for a moment, and this steel iris kind of unwinds before your eyes, opening into this large circular aperture. Inside, you see so the first thing you see is another ramp. It's like a tunnel. It's about 10 feet high, 15 feet wide, and it ascends about 20 feet up over about 40 feet long. And it leads you to this wide balcony that looks over the interior of the Black Citadel. The balcony itself is probably another 15 feet high, and it's easily 30 feet wide, sort of an oblong oval. Spikes of steel almost make it look like a jaw that is closing. And as you look over the parapet, you can just see all the different cantons kind of stretched out before you. From this height now, you can clearly see the great Imperial smelter burning, and lots of like chains going, the cranes lifting things, big tubs of molten steel getting poured into molds. Behind you, there's another slight incline, carpeted with a thick, almost like a Persian rug that runs up about another 20 feet. And as you reach the top of that, Arrakis kind of points out that in the center is a massive, kind of what looks like a conference room. It's this huge glass eye that looks out not over the city, but over the lands beyond. You see like the outskirts of Citadel, the Shiver Peaks to the north, the plains of Ashford to the south and east. You can just make out, just below the window, this massive stone structure that sort of appears or almost grows naturally out of the mountains, running west to east, and it continues westward like the Great Wall of China. This is what used to be called the Great Northern Wall, the border of the old Ascalonian kingdom, now just a tumbled ruin in most places, but pockmarked with segments that have kind of tumbled and fallen, but still mostly stand intact. And you can see stairs, ledges, tunnels at all sorts of heights. The wall itself is about 200 feet high. The glass-walled room is wide, and it's sort of suspended in the air. And on either side of that are two more like small spheres with their own sort of metal iris doors. At the moment, sort of half opened. Arrakis gestures to the one on the left and says,
That would be the Blood Legion Tribune's quarters. I'm told you're all familiar with Ritlock Brimstone.
Yeah.
His office is there. He's on assignment now, so he can't speak with you. My Tribune, Bure Goreblade, is currently in a briefing with Imperator Smodur. They'll meet with us shortly. To the right, it's the Tribune's quarters for the Ash Legion, Torga Desert Grave.
and he sort of takes up a post and just says,
There'll just be a moment. We're waiting for their signal.
he sort of raises a hand. You can see like this suspended conference room style area. It's just surrounded by glass and like vertical steel pillars holding it all up. You can see there's a long, wide table sort of in the center, covered with maps, very similar to things you've seen in the Crow's Nest, where the pack is making their plans. There's a massive iron chair on the opposite side, and sitting in it is a charr of intimidating countenance. He's younger than this Arrakis character that brought you up. He is wearing armor that reminds you of what you've seen Ritlock wearing before. Certainly Legion issued, lots of spines, heavy steel gauntlets with spikes all over them, pauldrons that are shaped like charr faces, like leonine faces with their fangs kind of over draping the shoulder. This charr has two sort of white-ish horns that curl upward from the sides of his head, and then two smaller ones from about the cheekbone level that also kind of curl upward, almost like a burning flame. His fur is sort of like a tawny brown, and the mane that runs from the back of his head down his neck is almost coiffed into a bristly mohawk of brown fur. Standing beside him is a charr with similar colored horns. There's sort of this off-white like, horn color, like bone color. They curl upward in a sort of crescent shape, as do the smaller ones at his cheeks. But this charr has like a dark gray fur, and the mane that he would have is almost completely shorn off. His nose on his muzzle is just black. Arrakis kind of makes a signal, and the dark furred charr sort of leans his head over, nods, and you see him lean over and whisper to the charr sitting in the massive chair, who looks up with one eye towards you all, looks down, clearly unimpressed, whispers something and makes a gesture of dismissal. And this dark furred charr just silently nods and makes his way around the table over to the steel kind of iris that closes this area off, and it opens before him without any sort of sign or movement on his part. And he steps out kind of looks over each of you.
So, you're Ritlock's little playthings. There are 5 of you. I was expecting 6.
Name
Was
is
it just a
Mr.
clever
Uh,
name?
Oh no.
Our wizard is doing some research or something.
Yeah, he's really busy.
That is very clever.
Perhaps you all aren't as useless as the Imperator seems to believe. Don't get me wrong. You're dragon slayers. Your exploits are legendary. But if the charr had been with you, our siege weaponry could have easily dealt with that threat.
Mm,
Well, the good news is
I mean, I was dead, so
we would love.
You're only illustrating my point, little mouse.
there would be a lot more of me. Is what I'm trying to say. But
I think what Alexa is trying to say is we love charr siege engines. They are really impressive.
They're the envy of the militaries all over the world, as you should.
Exactly. And we want to get them in the game of the dragon fight. So we can't have them in the flame fight, which is why we're here to do what we can, if you'll have us, to help that effort along.
That's what your pact marshal told us.
Exactly.
We've committed to provide supplies if we can end this threat decisively. But
We do
I'm
have a
told
bit of flair.
that's your specialty.
we really kind of
Yeah.
only work in black and white.
I wouldn't have it any other way. But please, this decision is not mine to make. It's time you speak with the Imperator. What do you know of Smodur the Unflinching?
We've met briefly.
This is good.
Doesn't flinch, as far as I know.
Unbreaking will.
Short of temper, be direct, be brief. His time is very valuable.
He turns around and just walks in and kind of casually gestures for you to follow.
We'd be so fucked without Kala.
Right now, we're going right now.
I mean, Bertie's remembered what we're doing now twice, so
I'm
I forgot.
pretty.
On the way up the
actually
ramps,
know
I
the
forgot why
plan.
we were here again.
I think I see intelligence level up. I'm gonna be honest, you really.
I read a book last week, guys. So why don't we back
I
off?
did too, but it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
We read
Hmm.
different books.
As you guys enter, this hulking charr stands up from his iron throne, puts 2 heavy clawed paws down on the table, leans forward and arches an eyebrow as he looks at you. His fangs almost constantly bared. It's just the way he bears himself. He gives you all appraising looks as you enter, and his eyes linger on you, Kala. As you guys get situated, Goreblade just sort of like gestures at you like, here. Yeah, it's kind of steps off to the side. Smodur nods at him.
Well, well, well. Trollskull 6. They say you want to help in the war effort. Fight against the flame so we can free up our resources to fight the remaining dragons. I gotta say, you seem to be doing well enough on your own.
It's more of a personal vendetta, really. It's been a while since I killed any flame males.
It is also.
And where one goes in this group, we all support each other.
That is very true.
I will also say 3 dragon fights takes a toll on the numbers, so we're looking for allies.
I like the temper of your steel.
I mean, if you
That's
want to
better.
keep fighting the Flame Legion on your own, you could. But we do offer our services.
And we're pretty good.
Well, I can't use you fighting against the flame forces. They're too spread out. My men can handle them. I'm not worried about them. What concerns me is the Baelfire.
Hmm.
Our best intelligence indicates that something bad is afoot. It's hard for us to get people deep into Fireheart Rise. Flame outposts all along the borders. They skirmish with our soldiers. We can knock them back a pace, but they just redouble their numbers. They come burrowing out of the hills with flame elementals. These massive burning effigies that hurl fire and rock. Our siege engines can stand against them, but it's hard to gain ground. Ultimately, we would be victorious. But we'd have to cross the entirety of Fireheart Rise and meet with the Blood Legion on the opposite side of the Cathedral of Flame. Baelfire's stronghold is the problem. We've tried to assail that for centuries. No one's ever so much as put a dent in it. We need a group of specialists. Someone who can get in and handle Gaheron. Take him out of the equation, and then we can handle the rest.
Strongholds are a bit of a specialty for us, so yeah.
If you can do that, the Iron Legion, and even the Blood, whether Ruinbringer will admit it or not, will be greatly indebted to you. We can get you the latest intelligence from the Ash Legion scouts. Tribute Desert Grave will be in shortly to give you a debriefing. I'm told you came to speak with Brimstone. Currently, the Blood Legion Tribune is deployed along the edge of the Cindercrest range to keep the flame in check. After the flame heard about the quenching of the foe fire and the failure of the shaman Imilor, Gaheron has redoubled his efforts to push south and retake more of the fertile lands the flame once controlled. Ritlock's camp is set up near Blackblood Lake, on our northern border. About 3 weeks ago, we sacked one of their major strongholds, the Incendiary Temple, built on the spur of the Cindercrest Range that overlooks Iron Legion holdings in Diessa Plateau. It was a great victory, but there's more work to be done. He looks over at Tribune Goreblade and says, "Bring Torga in here. It's time." Viewer nods, just like silently makes his way out. And there's just this awkward moment when Smodur's just sort of staring at you.
Just gonna follow what's his face out. If we're,
As you turn to leave,
I'm like, oh, okay.
Smodur just says, "You stay."
Oh, sorry.
What do you
Slight
know
little days.
about the Flame Legion?
We all just kind of look at Cole.
A lot, really.
What do you know about the cathedral?
Not so much about that. I know I'm not allowed in there, so I'd really love to get in there and start killing people.
I think you'll have your chance. Most of the fortress is carved from obsidian and basalt. but much of it is forged from black iron prized from deep veins within the mountain itself. There are many shafts, but few who have seen them in person have ever returned. The only proper entrance to the cathedral is an enchanted pair of obsidian doors which open only to the will of Baelfire and his shamans on the western side of the mountain. Years ago, Ritlock went undercover to spy on the flame. He knows the mines better than any living charr not of the flame. It would be wise for you to stop and speak with him. And at this point you hear footsteps approaching. And as you listen, those of you with high perception, you only hear one set of claw taps as Buer Goreblade, Tribune for the Iron Legion, makes his way in. There's a faint rustle of motion, and you see what does she look like? Find a picture. You see a grizzled female charr. Gray fur with sort of darker slate tiger stripes. A very short pair of upturned horns on top of her head. Two longer canines, almost like saber cat fangs. And one almost ice blue eye. Her other eye is completely bloody red. And the mane from the back of her head that runs down her thick neck is snow white, and it's gathered into a series of plumes, almost like a Roman soldier's mohawk helmet. It's tied with red bands, but it sort of brushes out at the top in this brilliant sort of snow white color. Wearing deep black and maroon scaled leather armor. She enters in with no sound. And Smodur just kind of looks at her. He gives a gentle salute, one fist over the heart. My Imperator, what can I do for you? I need you to debrief these outsiders. This is the Trollskull 6. They came to speak with Brimstone. They're going to go on assignment and try to take out Baelfire for us. See her kind of sweep her gaze over each of you, Kala. She pauses on you. Gives a knowing nod. I thought as much. I've been expecting you. Kind of says that almost to you, Kala, looking at you in the eye. Gaheron Baelfire thinks himself a god, and his followers are fanatic in their devotion. Their most powerful shamans pledge fealty by ritually dipping their hands in pools of molten rock, disfiguring themselves, but also gaining a great deal of power. I'm told you've encountered some of these before, in the catacombs of old Ascalon. They call themselves the God-Forged. I understand that before joining the Pact in an official capacity, you had plenty of experience as freelance adventurers. It gives me great pleasure to offer you the following bounties as a reward for your work. For each right claw you bring back to me from a god forged, I'll give you 100 gold pieces. The High Legions have put together something a bit more substantial for Baelfire himself. Bring us proof of his death, and I can get you 10,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, that one. Alexa definitely goes. Ooh.
And I'll throw in a bonus 5,000 pieces from my own personal stores, if you can bring me proof of the death of Hierophant Rendak Burnt Soul, Gaheron's right hand.
Rendak.
Rendak, burnt soul. She looks at you again, Kala, catching your gaze, and says,
Rendak is the father of Imilor, the shaman you brought to such delicious failure in the catacombs.
We did. We
Kala,
did do that.
you know this. Although you didn't know that he had been promoted to Hierophant. When you left, Rendak was the chief shaman in charge of the Coal Hearth village and the mines around that area that supply coal to the great furnaces inside the Cathedral of Flame. And she kind of crosses her arms and says, my scouts, many have given their lives. Many still have survived and given us a great deal of information. Is there anything particularly you would like to ask about the task ahead of you?
Well, I mean, if they have any information on entrances, defenses, numbers. Anybody got anything else?
Aside from fire, anything else we should expect regarding things that can hurt us?
I think the usual at this point.
He says, it may be worth your while to go over these maps. She sort of brushes some of the maps of the table to the side until she finds what she's looking for. And she pulls out a map. You can see it clearly marked on the southwest corner, the Black Citadel. You see sketches of an area labeled Diessa Plateau, which she describes as sort of like wide, fertile, rolling hills, shallow lakes. And she explains this is where the Iron Legion raises most of their livestock and gets most of its timber. Iron Legion territory ends at the north edge, where a steep ridge of rocky hills kind of stretches all the way from the Shiver Peaks in the west to the Iron Marches in the east, before it curves northward, sort of like a weird sickle shape, forming a series of jagged volcanic peaks that make a nearly impassable curtain of just barren black stone. The charr called these the Cindercrest Range, and beyond them is a plain of ashen basalt crisscrossed by rivers of flowing lava. They call it Fireheart Rise, and it is the home of the exiled Flame Legion.
It was called what again? Fireheart Rise?
Yeah.
So called because it rises steadily from the Cindercrests northward as it approaches the Blaze Ridge Mountains, which is a larger range. She says, all across Fireheart Rise, plumes of smoke, steam, and noxious gas rise into a perpetually darkened sky. In the north, where the cinder crests meet and join the Blaze Ridge, you'll find the volcano Hrangmer. It's the charr word. Loosely translated, it means the jaws of oblivion. It's there that the terrible Cathedral of Flame was first carved into the burning stone of its caldera. Your best bet for intelligence about the interior would be to talk to Tribune Brimstone. We have some of his information. I could pull the files if you need them. If you judge that your time is best spent bypassing the Tribune, I'll give you what information I can.
We should probably talk to Whitlock, I think.
Yeah, plus he probably
Yeah.
wants to see me. You know, I haven't seen him
He
in a bit.
raises her eyebrow a little bit.
Kind of, we're friends. It's don't do that.
In Fireheart Rise, worry about everything. The acidic
Ooh.
steam and the geysers don't get you. The lava might. There are entire forests burnt to cinders that perpetually smolder. Flame elementals, earth elementals, tribes of primitive Groll that worship the flames, the mountains, the stones, the sky. Barbaric
Right.
creatures that would tear you limb from limb and offer you as sacrifice to their heathen gods.
I mean, honestly, you're just making me really want to go. This sounds like the good old days.
It does. It's kind of nostalgic. No dragons. Right?
Yeah,
Does-
it's a
does,
lot. These
uh,
days, it's dragon this, dragon that, and you know, change of pace
D-
is good
d-
for everybody.
is Gaheron gifted in any special arcane ways themselves? Like the dragons can sometimes be, or is it just his shaman that are magically gifted?
Gaheron was once the chief shaman of the Legion.
Oh.
He served as its Imperator, and he has a special kinship with Flame.
Good to know. Good to know.
Hierophant Burntsoul, by all accounts, is also a skilled pyromancer, but he also wields considerable powers of enchantment and illusion magic. He's used that to dominate and control the charr under his command for quite some time.
Good to know.
Well, me and the one that's missing, we got that handled.
So I've heard. Their soldiery are zealots, skilled with martial weaponry, fast, bloodthirsty. Most of the rank and file don't possess any particular ability with the arcane, but all of their shamans are fairly well attuned to fire magic and the spirits of elementals that are friendly to their endeavors. You'll want to watch the closer you get to the cathedral. There will be patrols, taskmasters, huntsmasters, kennel masters, beasts of elemental fire that track and hunt with them, large constructs of burning flame. And of course, many wild elemental creatures of terrible, monstrous natures. Fire salamanders, great rocks that live in the mountains that could take horses whole. Assume that everything in Fireheart Rise is engineered to kill you.
That's kind of typically our going assumption. So,
What the people do.
I advised our council of war that you were the best for the job.
yeah, not
Appreciate
what
the
I thought.
recommendation.
Smodur looks over. Smodur just looks at her and says,
Yes, her opinion was highly sought after, being our master of information.
Ooh.
Although I still think you work too closely with the Order of Whispers for my taste.
Shady bunch, that group.
Orga just says, "We take allies where we can find them these days."
Yeah.
Is there anything else I could do for you?
Is there anything that we think that Galatar would want us to ask that we haven't? What if we
Do they
all
have,
tried to think like Galatar for a second?
I got it. Do they have like books there? Like in the place
Or a
where we're
bathroom.
going?
A bathroom or a
Books.
book. Those are two
I'm-
typical Galatar ingredients.
I'm sure they have records of some type, but
Great,
books,
he'll be
I
thrilled.
imagine, are too flammable.
That's more than
tablets, maybe?
fine.
You would
Yeah,
more likely be
stone-
He
looking for
might
stone
be a little
tablets.
sad about that.
Stone tablets, yeah, stone tablets. Well,
We'll
less
just tell him to
thrilled,
bring
but-
paper. He can make
Yeah.
the rubbings. There we go. I don't know words.
That's probably a wise precaution.
All right. Well, I think we'll if you can give us well, we kind of know where Ritlock is, right? He's in he's off fighting the people in the Fire Mountains or something like that.
Find him at his camp at Black Blood Lake.
That's the one. Yeah.
The lake, right.
Right. Yeah, I think he'll have some information in terms of details, but you know. Yeah, that's enough to go on, right, guys?
Yeah, I think I mean, unless there's any
Yeah.
other specific requests.
I mean, we've certainly gone in with less, so.
That's true. What's 100 gold pieces a claw? I think you
Right
could
claw, they
buy-
said? Yeah, gosh, what if we brought the left one? That would be
That's-
brutal.
Just give it
Yeah.
a moment to cool when you remove it. I'd hate for you to burn yourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. Thank you for
Smodur
the
just kind of
concern.
leans forward. So, is that all you need? Are there any supplies we could help you with for your journey?
I mean, if you have any
Water? Do we need any
explosives, oh, what?
water? No? No? Okay.
If
You'll
you have
definitely
any,
want to supply plenty of water before you leave. It'll be scarce.
We've got a lot of magic and real
I
water.
think we've
Yeah.
got. I think Kala's got the water covered.
if you have any potions lying around that nobody wants, we'll certainly take them. Couldn't hurt. Let's see.
Anything that's fire resistant
Uh,
for if someone needs something to protect them or
Yeah, any
help them
grenades or
not-
explosives. I know that anything like that would be good.
I
You
think
know, it's
maybe
useful in a
some-
siege situation, like getting in like that.
an order or writ of passage or something, so we don't have trouble with friendly charr patrols.
Oh,
Yeah,
way
God,
out.
they can be annoying.
that's too practical. I don't like it. Veto.
What else?
That's a good idea. I'll be sure to have those sent down. Check with the questers, the quartermasters, at the armory on your way out. Whenever you're ready. Our forces are in place and they will continue to do the work that they are doing now. We can hold out indefinitely, but the sooner you end Baelfire, the happier we'll be.
Let me ask this. So, you had mentioned that the doors to this place only open through like the will of fire or something like that. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Tribune Desert Grave says, "Yes,
We've been told that only Baelfire and his shamans can open them, though we don't fully understand the mechanism.
Okay. Let me ask this: if we were to come across a Fire Legion patrol somewhere, is there any like token that your scouts have come across, or any marking, or maybe a ring or some kind of symbol that would mark us as like we're on the Flame Legion side trying to I mean, you said Ritlock had gone undercover, so
Yeah,
you know, if there's anything like that, you know, I can change my ring to have a Fire Legion emblem kind of thing that might mark us as like double agents or something that we could use to try and avoid a scrape if we ran into some lamos.
I don't think that would work. I mean, Ritlock's a male charr.
I mean, I can
Pretty
be
much
very
anybody else is
persuasive.
kill on sight.
I mean, I can be very
How do
persuasive.
they
though.
even have a? I'm not gonna ask. Actually, nope. Just gonna.
Torga says. So she walks over to a low iron cabinet, and there's just a faint squeak as the hinge comes open. She ruffles around in some scrolls and pulls them out. I have some drawings here. And she unrolls them, and you see it's like sketches that have been done based on reports of Flame Legion regalia, which include like larger sketches of the sigils that are used, like emblems that are attached and patches and things like that. What various ranks mean. And
Is there any like particularly high rank that I can, not like super high, but like notably high, that I can take note of?
so they use similar ranks to the High Legions for their rank and file. There are soldiers, there are legionnaires in charge of soldiers, and there are centurions in charge of legionnaires. Once you reach there, in the Citadel, above Centurion is the Tribunes. In
Yeah.
Flame, it's the Shamans. So Centurion is probably the highest of the rank and file before being a magic-wielding shaman. Although there are special roles, like the Kennel Masters,
Do they have? I would ask, do they have like
Taskmasters.
an equivalent to the Order of Whispers for the Flame Legion, or like they're like info gathering?
I mean, they like all the
Folks.
legions have intelligence operatives. The Ash Legion is just like that is their specialty.
Okay.
They
If
make
yeah,
the
because
best scouts.
if the Flame Legion, if there was like a marking of like, oh yeah, for the Flame Legion intelligence folks, like this is their symbol, I would turn my
Not so much a
signet ring.
department.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's really just like the sigil of the flame.
All right, I would have my signet ring kind of turned to that sigil of the flame. Yeah.
As you kind of hash this out, Torga says,
They'll most likely try to kill you on sight. They hate humans, and they hate non-flame charr almost as much. The only thing worse than being a human or a non-flame charr is being a female.
Yeah. I can be, again, very persuasive.
They're not gonna let you talk though. They're just gonna start trying to kill you.
I
Birdie
find
talks
it
really fast.
extraordinarily difficult to speak when one is on fire.
Yeah.
Ye of little faith. I have
Do they
all of you. Look at this.
Birdie's
they-
performances are fire.
Do they wear a lot of armor? All of them?
The shamans tend to not wear any armor. They
Okay.
wear robes or traveling leathers. The rank and file soldiers tend to carry shields, spears, swords, some form of leather or hide armor, generally speaking.
Okay. All right.
They don't have access to Iron Legion steel, and she nods towards the Imperator. I appreciate the compliment, Torga.
Anyone got any last Galatar thoughts?
Torga rolls up an extra map, like a smaller portable map, and hands it to Galatar, who I will assume is here at this point.
Oh shit, Galatar, when did you get here? He's like out of breath.
Dimension door.
Yeah. Or we could say he hasn't joined yet, but she takes the question from you all and hands you all so that you have, because we know Galatar would ask for a map.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, obviously he's probably, yeah. If they're there, he is copying them.
Smodur just says, "Well, if that's all we can do for you, mighty heroes, I'll ask that you excuse me. I have Citadel business to attend to. Don't forget to speak with our quartermasters at the armory when you're ready to leave. Whether
We
that's
much
today
appreciate
or
it.
tomorrow or several days from now, preparations will be made."
Thank you.
You're welcome. Prove me right. That my faith in a former flame is not misplaced.
I'll bring you his head back, or I won't be coming back.
Sounds good to me.
Turn around and leave.
I guess I'll try not to melt him.
Yeah. You guys turn around and file out. Torga is the last come through the door. You guys hear her clear her throat a little. And call as she catches your eye.
A moment of your time, Flame.
Sure.
Excuse us.
She walks towards the Ash Tribune's quarters.
I'll walk with her.
As she approaches, that steel iris kind of unwinds, making a door. As soon as you guys step in, it seals tight behind you. What you see inside is Spartan. There is just a very narrow, very small, for Charr, very small mattress, just sort of 2 feet off the floor, and like a small cot behind a very simple desk that is almost bare. It's got a couple of sheets of paper and a quill and ink. No documents with any writing on them evident. There are a couple of steel shelves built into the wall that all have what look like pretty complex locks on them. And there is what looks like a sewing mannequin braced up against one side of a wall with what looks like dark brown traveling leathers with a sort of dark steel breastplate that's kind of ornately carved. And it's got a pair of those pauldrons that look like charr faces that curl the fangs over each shoulder with sets of spikes that go up beside your ears. Just sort of sitting there draped over this mannequin. She walks silently around to the other side of her desk, and you notice deliberately she seems to not be making any sound when she moves. She gets to the other side and puts her hands on her desk and leans forward, much the way Smodur was earlier. She kind of looks down at the desk for a minute and then just raises her eyes, but not her head, to look at you. And says,
Tell me what you know of the Ash.
I don't know a lot, I guess. You're mostly spies and scouts. Quiet and quick. Mostly fight like I do.
She raises the eyebrow over her ice blue eye and stares at you uncomfortably with it and says,
We live and die where secrets hide. We thrive where danger dwells. My legion teaches stealth, patience, deception. We do not field armies. We do not build machines of war. We watch and wait until the time is right, and then we strike with finality. She emphasizes each syllable of that last word. Your warband is headed deep into flame territory to try and put down Baelfire himself. That's no small task. You'll need all the help you can get. Ash Legion, by rule and principle, doesn't normally provide material assistance. We specialize in information, strategy, tactical assessment. Unfortunately, these aren't normal circumstances. I report to Malice Swordshadow, Imperator of Ash. My orders are to give you this, and she sort of gestures offhanded towards the armor mannequin. Our intelligence reports indicate that you are a trustworthy ally. You've been personally vouched for by the Legionnaire of Special Operations Group 98, the Scorch Warband, also known as Kala's Killers. They described your heroics at the Ascalon Catacombs in their debriefing, including the rescue of one Salina Scorchstep. And every charr knows that your warband ended the foe fire. Our Imperator has taken notice of you specifically, and offers this from her private collection. With this note, she pulls out a drawer and hands you a scrap of paper.
I'll read the note.
The note says, Baelfire must fall. You know this better than most. This armor belonged to Corva Mistwalker, a trailblazer among the Ash and a hero in her own right. Use it well. Malice Swordshadow, Imperator, Ash Legion. Torga looks at you, and she raises the eyebrow over her bloodied red eye, and says, Legend has it that the previous owner wound up trapped in the mists after a night of hard drinking and a stupid bet with an Asuran scholar in the priory where she was embedded. Eventually, she found her way home, but the weird energies of those realms that she passed through have infused this with uncanny abilities. It's said that Corva communed with powerful spirits that she encountered during her travels, and that the echo of her own spirit is tethered to the armor still. It's cantankerous. No one's been able to use it so far. Legionnaire Vesta Scorchpath speaks very highly of you. Salina doesn't speak at all, but she nodded when asked if you could be trusted, which is more of a response than she would give for most people. Take it. See what you can do with it. And if it's of no use to you, return it. And we'll wait until we find someone worthy to wield it.
Thanks. Pick up the armor. So this is sort of haunted armor.
Kind of.
All right.
Bring us Baelfire's head. We'll call it even.
Yeah, I will.
May your steps be relentless. She sort of nods, and the door behind you twists open again.
I'll leave. find everybody else.
Right. You guys see Kala walk out alone with this bundle of dark leather and spiky metallic armor.
I'm telling you, Bertie, there was water everywhere down there. It was just, I don't know if you ever could stop it or make it in.
Yeah, and I'm wearing suede today, so no way. Like these shoes would not survive that. No.
I mean, my socks are still wet. I've been walking around in wet socks all day. It feels disgusting.
At least it's just your socks. The high parts, I'd like to find a
Oh,
place to,
no.
like change maybe.
Alexa, that's
I know.
unbecoming.
Vegetate yourself.
I wish it was that easy.
The
Is it
aide de
really?
camp to the Iron Tribune is out with you all now, waiting, and is happy to show you back down through the Citadel core. And there are places where you can clean up. Some nicer appointed places for the officers that, given your status, they do allow you to stop and use should you need.
You get the fancy bathrooms.
Yeah.
Keetrie's probably just gonna leave her socks and her shoes just nearest
Ridiculous
trash can.
place.
She's like,
Oh.
okay, like a small pair of humanoid-sized shoes. Don't know who needs these.
Absolutely.
Bria's
Plenty of
just, like,
places for them.
Making eyes at Kala's armor. She's curious, but like trying to not ask about it. Just doing eyebrow stuff.
Paul's very perceptive. She notices Brina staring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
weird because I got called in the other room while you were in that one,
Mhm.
Kala,
Yeah.
and they gave me some cool stuff.
The empty room, because Ritlock's not here.
Well, they took me into that room to give it to me because he's not here, so they said I could use it. Anyways, what did you get?
Yeah,
And then I'll
Kala,
tell
what'd you
what
get?
I got.
It's magic armor that's sort of haunted.
Spooky.
Yeah, who's haunting it?
Ooh.
Can you talk to them? Is it kind of like Leaf?
I don't know.
Is anyone there?
Dear
We gotta
haunted
get. Oh! If
armor.
we do like a Ouija board tonight, maybe we can contact your ghost.
You don't have to work
I
on
think
Ouija
maybe I
board.
just need to wear it for a little while. See what happens.
You know, if nobody starts talking, let me know and we'll make something happen.
Do you want us to be there with you? Or is this something you want to do by yourself?
Yeah, what did the ghost get you?
Could try and read
No, I
something
think
in
it'll
the
be
bones
okay.
of bone dice.
What is a ghost gonna do with you though? Like, where can they take you?
Oh,
I
Like a
mean,
dance.
I don't think we've all been possessed. We've seen a few.
I mean, I just mean like, are they gonna somehow shunt you off the physical plane? Like, I'd be more worried about that. If they could just like take hold of your body and like, poof, you're gone.
Who knows what ghosts are capable of?
I
You
mean,
know?
like they could make yourself throw you out of a
I
window.
think if it was that kind of thing, they would have warned me.
Fair.
They said this is maybe haunted armor, but it is chill haunted armor.
Yeah.
Alright.
Did they say what it is? It like, is it just haunted? That's all it does. It just is
So
haunted.
it's supposed to do some cool stuff, but nobody's been able to use it yet. So maybe I put it on and nothing happens.
That sounds like maybe the best worst thing kind of thing.
Eventually, you guys make your way out of the command core, and you have the afternoon in front of you. This would be an all right place to call it, unless there's something you guys want to do before you take a long rest.
I was gonna suggest we go back to LA because Galatar is still there.
Could do that.
For all we know, he could still be in. He could have gone to like Divinity's Reach and been like, "It's date night."
Right, he could, and he can always send us a message whenever he's on his
Wow.
way.
Dude
He's-
can also magically bamf anywhere he freaking wants.
I was
So
gonna say find a tavern. Fuck Galatar.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good place.
we're
like
we're
it.
playing it like the old days. We're staying in a tavern tonight.
I love a
So-
tavern.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stay here, and then head out when Galatar comes. Go find Brimstone.
Yeah, I
it.
guess.
say-
Oh.
That sounds like a
So-
good plan.
Later in the day, you guys get a message from Galatar that he's finished up his errands and wants to know
His
where
poo.
you are.
Yeah.
It's poo.
Pooping.
He got
You
over the
finished
stomach bug.
pooping?
Yeah. Finished fighting his demons. Now he's ready to
His
fight
rota
the
his,
Annihilation.
his rotavirus.
He comes to join you at the Serrated Blade. I imagine he would put up the mansion rather than stay at the Serrated Blade, but we'll let him decide that when he gets back.
I don't know. I think
He
you would
might, maybe.
enjoy the at-home atmosphere.
We'll let
I'll,
him
I'll be
narrate
with
that.
Brina.
school.
I'll be with Brina camping out in the like the staying in the tavern room. Like
Yes.
You know, just-
Oh,
gotta like feel like you're roughing it in a tavern.
Yes.
Not as straight ass camping, but like, you know.
no, I'm gonna get a room and I will tell everyone in the group this. I'm gonna put up a dome in my room because I have the spell just for fun. And then we can make it like a multicolored dome and hang out.
Alexa,
Trip on
vibe,
some
yo.
drugs.
new
Alexa's
rituals,
like, I
magic.
built a fort.
Yeah.
I like it.
I will
Call it-
say, Birdie, I think is going to spend some time that evening. And I'm going to unattune from the Cape of the Dandy.
The dandy.
Holy shit.
Well, it's not, it's thought through. I want the fire resistant armor going into this Flame Legion thing. But I think being able to paralyze people, especially if we're fighting more like low level people, will be a nice get out of jail free card. I don't think I'll be taking as massive hits as like with a dragon or something. So I also can heal like nobody's business these days. So I feel like I'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that means
Wow.
he and it's crazy because he actually you watch as he like kind of takes this cape off, and for a moment his like aquamarine like visage kind of like as it kind of falls apart, and underneath he's wearing an aquamarine suit. It's like he's wearing the clothes that he is like also like on top of illusion. And he like folds up this cape and puts it in his pack.
But like the pant cuffs are a little dirty on this one.
They are. You can see there's a little bit of
Little
a
bit
little
of
bit of
Slightly scuffed.
yeah. a
Why do
little
I
bit of
feel
soot.
this is like an Arrested Development with the never nude?
Never
Alice is at least wearing a pair of jorts.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, but we'll put
Except
that
Birdie
on.
would actually walk around completely nude just with his magic like finery
Yeah.
on. But like
Yeah.
Not always nude club.
Wow. I've had that cape of the dandy equipped for a long time.
Yes.
sure have.
For something that was based off of like a level 1 warlock invocation, has stood the test of time.
Well,
It's nice to have a no shit button where like, especially when you're fighting dragons, and I'll definitely put it on when we fight a dragon, because like one too many dragon breath comes your way, cape of the dandies, you get out of jail card. Yeah. That was nice.
Kala. Are you attuning to something tonight?
Yeah, I kind of need to go back to LA though. I need to go and get all of my weapons.
We're like,
Okay.
suck it,
That's
we're
fucking
camping
class,
out in a
bro.
tavern, and Kala's like, I'm going home. Don't know about you guys.
So you don't have
This
to
is-
leave the next morning. You can go back to LA the next day.
Yeah, I guess it's
It's
the
all
thing.
up to you
I would
guys.
ask everybody like, when are we leaving? Like, are we leaving in the morning or?
As soon as Galatar gets done shitting, I guess. God.
I would say also.
I don't think it's gonna be an early morning.
So, based on the maps that you guys were given, this is
Yeah.
something you'll need to bear in mind for next time. It's almost 100 miles from the Black Citadel to Black Blood Lake at the border of Charr territory.
Well, that's fun.
So that's a long walk. From
I'm not walking. We gotta get a horse or something.
from the edge of
I'll be a
Charr,
horse.
from the edge of the Charr legions, or the Charr territory, from the edge of Diessa Plateau at Black Blood Lake, it's about 120 miles through rugged terrain to get to the Citadel of Flame.
and it's gonna be
So-
easy.
I'll be a horse. Then we don't have to
There
sacrifice
are-
any
yeah.
actual horses.
You guys can try to negotiate mounts from the Citadel or from somewhere else if you want.
I can make
Uh,
a magic horse now.
I don't want
Oh,
a
and we
horse
gotta
to get
visit
blown
the
up by a lava
armor
geyser.
The armory.
before. Yeah, we'll do that with
Yeah.
Galatar here. He'll want to be there for that.
Yeah.
You also have
no,
plenty
we
of
won't do that
magic
right now.
at your disposal for traveling. You try teleport. You have various methods and
That's
means
half
of
of what
travel.
makes me want to say is just let's fucking teleport to the lake.
Oh, I
Honestly.
can also try like if I can scry. So if I can scry and have seen a place, then I could also well no, I couldn't teleport us there, but I
Transport
could help
via
us get
plants?
there. Are there
Yeah,
there's not
TVP.
plants though, right?
It's a lake. There's got to be a tree nearby.
Black Blood Lake is a fertile area.
Oh,
Fire
okay.
Rise is the desolate place.
Well, that's why I was like, this sounds like a desolate wasteland of obnoxious
Oh,
Yeah,
gas.
you have the Necklace of Windwalk too.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I
which is
have
super
yeah.
fast.
Always
So we have
forget to
options.
be a
We have
clown.
options. We're not
Yeah.
just gonna
You'll
walk.
want to think about that.
We won't have to wait like 3 weeks for us to just get there.
And before you leave the Citadel, if there's other business you need to attend to in any of the major cities, it's quick and easy to get there. If you do want to stop by the Priory to get your spell, that's not going to take very long, so that's something you could do. It's sort of like loose
I
ends
wait
to tie
for
up,
Chandler to be here. Of course.
Galatar, I want to be there for that. Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
All
Gang, gang.
right. Then I think we shall. Oh, so is Kala going back to LA today or the following day?
You could do it the following day.
Yeah, maybe the following day if we're not leaving the next day.
You can always leave in the afternoon too. Like no, doesn't really matter. Like it depends on
None
how
of
you
us are
travel and
getting
what
up
your plans
early.
are.
I feel like it's the montage of Kala putting all the knives in her like sleeves and pockets and shit.
So do you try to attune to your armor tonight?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if we're getting rooms at this tavern and just hanging out here, I would try to attune.
Okay. So attuning to something like this, you put it on, wear it, you kind of move with it, and try to intuit how it works. And the first thing you realize is that this is weird armor. It's kind of like Kitri's breastplate. It's heavy. It kind of sits on your shoulders. Weird. You know, you're a Dexy charr. Like you move, you're quick, you roll, you dodge, you jump. And this is a more weighted type of armor than you're used to. As you wear it and sort of move around the space a little bit, and there are places near the serrated blade in where like armor and weapon like proving grounds where there's room to move and spar and train with new things where they can test their materials and stuff. I'd like you to make a charisma check. it can be intimidation or persuasion, or even deception, depending if there's any sort of method you can think of for how you're basically you find that this armor it's kind of fighting you. Like it doesn't quite want to sit right. And as you go through your movements and practice your forms and your maneuvers, every now and then as you stop to catch your breath, you're catching flashes of strange environments that are not memories. They're not places you've seen before. The stars are strange. The skies are strange. Cities you've never seen or heard of. Creatures you've never encountered. So, you can either try to force your way into it, like will the armor to work with you and make an intimidation check. You can try to move with it and think about your purpose, what you aim to use it for, what you've done in the past, working with the Scorch Warband, the Ash Legion, your goals, and try to make a persuasion check. Or you could potentially make a deception check and try to fool your mind into ignoring parts of what you're seeing or giving a false impression of your intentions so that it settles more easily onto your shoulders.
I think I would try persuasion first to try and work with the armor.
Right? Yeah. So this first night, it just doesn't jive. You can feel the potential there, and there's a almost static-like hum of energy on this armor, but it resists attuning to you. And you start, as you're moving with it, you start to hear whispers. And like every now and then you kind of stop to look around and feel like, who's talking? Like it's starting to bother you, but there's no one there.
I'll keep the armor on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll sleep in it.
Okay. All right. And that, my friends, is where we will call it for tonight.
Sounds good.
Love it.
Eh,